Still like and
Don't worry.
subscribe. Smash that
Without
bell.
you, the campaign, we're all going to die in like the next 3 sessions anyway. It's fine. We'll just spin a new one. You can join whenever you want.
Now, if we die, we get to blame him. Be like, our healer dropped. You know, like.
Yeah.
I was about to say, we don't have any
Are
other
we still
healing,
gonna
do
run
we?
his?
Yeah, you do have 18 healing potions. So there will be.
Yeah, they take
there
an
are
action
other-
to use those, so they're not.
They do.
And
Are we
I will
gonna-
say,
2d4 plus 4.
We're not gonna run his character, are we?
No, I'll handle that
So
narratively.
Goob is now goobed.
He's booged.
I will say, I talked to Goob, and I'm pretty sure he told me that he was teaching A1 all of his healing spells. I think that's what he said.
I mean,
That's not a bad thought to get A1 with us.
actually,
Then you gotta take him to fights with you. Anyway, now that I'm rolling.
That's
Yeah, Ben Sun's out, Guns Out too. Yeah, buddy. I don't know what we're celebrating with Suns Out, Guns Out, but I was feeling it.
About to say, it was stormy as fuck all day. I don't know why you said sun's out, guns out.
I just
Yeah.
I wanted to wait till session 15 to do like a coordinated
Hold on.
session, but I was just really feeling it this week. It's been a good workout week. Anyway,
I'm like, I'm gonna stop cooking dinner real quick to put on a tank top. Just y'all can't even see me, but I'm there in spirit.
you're there, we know. Now we all know.
I'll put on my fucking Bucky shirt. That's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bucky's. Get
This
out
is
of
our
here.
sleeves is bullshit episode. Sleeves are bullshit.
Sleeves are bullshit. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome again to Spelljammer 998 session 13. Never forget, sleeves are bullshit. Last week on Spelljammer, a lot of stuff happened, my friends. Give me 3 seconds to navigate my new weird screen setup.
Give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps more.
I didn't get that reference. And that's
Session title.
No.
And we're good.
Didn't I specifically say that we could not make that joke?
Maybe that's why I wrote it down, but I didn't put that part. I put the important bit, so you're welcome.
Oh, you said not to make that joke. Got
Yes,
it.
no, explicitly said that was across the red line. I wish I could put you in timeout or something.
I'll bleep my audio.
Alright, last week on Spelljammer 988, you guys arrived on the planet of Therendor on a mission for Sly to investigate something, an anomaly we'll call it, that he is not entirely sure what it was. You guys did witness from the stratosphere of this planet a massive sandstorm and this kind of spectral barrier in the center of it. When you guys landed, the sandstorm seemed to have passed, and you guys made your way to what you've come to find was a ruins site. Pardon. And after some investigating, eventually you stirred up the Guardians inside of the barrier. You guys had a swift little brawl with some swarm of dead snakes and a bone naga. Strangely glyphed up and carved into and all kinds of crazy stuff all over its skeleton. You guys managed to slay it, and the barrier falls away, upon which you guys investigate deeper into the ruins and find a very odd item, which Demos is able to use some of his spells to identify as an extremely ancient and powerful item, made specifically to find what seems to be another item. What exactly the gravity crown is, even Calden is unsure. But you guys also tore apart the Naga a little bit, got some parts out of it. Demos had the skull separated from it so he could study it. And you guys began your journey back to Eberron. On the way, you did a little bit more gray scaver fishing, and you managed to track down and catch the night scaver that was a requirement for a quest on the quest board at XLTD. You guys made your way back to the rocks, sold your gray scaver haul, and then teleported back to Eberron, to the Sharnbar and Pet Emporium, where Jens met some retired adventurers and perused some of the possible wildlife for sale, as well as turned in the night scaver you caught for a reward. Oh, don't forget, I gotta tell y'all the date. But after that, you guys chose to go see Professor Calden with the discoveries that you found on Therendor. Demos and Calden spent a solid 24 hours around the clock attempting to crack what appeared to be a form of Draconic that predates anything that at least Morgrave is aware of. And after this marathon study session, Demos and Kaladin are able to... Kaladin creates a cipher for this very old form of Draconic, and Demos is able to pull a hunk, or a snippet, of the Draconic prophecy off of the Bone Naga's corpse. And of course, he makes the connection that this seems to have been what the Bone Naga was singing, and draws the conclusion that between the runes and the singing and things like... and whatever magic had been wrought here was keeping the barrier up in an attempt to keep anybody from getting to this orrery that you all found. And I believe that is where we ended. Today is the first of Raw and Endgame. Questions, comments, snide remarks. Anything I forgot?
Beautiful Zephyr is.
Zephyr is gorgeous. Zephyr has pretty privilege.
He's looking pretty radiant this afternoon.
That is canonically proven, yeah.
It's true. We just kind of, it's just understood now that Zephyr has pretty privilege.
All right, so it is a new day, so I'm gonna roll some.
No, those are long rests. Don't forget.
Yeah, you said it's a new day. It's the first of Ron. It was the 28th of something when we went to Calden, right? 28th of Barkus.
You can look in your calendar to see what days you actually have rest. So your next long rest is the second.
Well, I get the. Oh, you're right. It's either my lucky or something else that resets at dawn. I think it's my wand and my lucky, but it's not my thing.
Anyway, so I have moved you guys to this here map. Just kind of under the pretext. What did I do with here? It is. I'm looking at a different map. That's why I'm a little confused. I've moved you guys here to the Morgrave map, and under the kind of pretense that you guys have chosen to gather in Professor Calden's office, which is here. I'm so zoomed in. Here. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Didn't see any of your boops, my dude.
Bloop.
You can pretend I can see that, and I'm not in the kitchen, still cooking dinner.
No, that's okay. But for the intents and purposes of the start of this session, you guys having a visual aid, you guys have kind of convened in Calvin's office. And last session, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like you all agreed to leave the orrery with him, so I'm going to assume this is right after you've handed it off to him. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss with Calvin, or any other business you have here at Wargrave?
I would like to grab some ink, but first, I'll talk to the party. Well, I think it's time we... 6 is an awful lot for a ship. Maybe we should cut some of the fat, trim things back, make 5 is a good number. Anyway, we should start dividing up some of that booty, because I have some things I need to buy. And if you gentlemen help me procure some equipment, I can try to... some items on some of our longer voyages, especially if we're going to be spending a month at sea. I was remiss to think of all the paperwork I could have got done if I had it, but what do you boys feel about dividing up some of that loot? Maybe not the whole stash, but...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I got much to spend the party bank on for anything, being honest with you. We got the other ship going. We don't have anything huge outstanding. You take some if you want. Use it for what you need to.
You got that new time, that miserable one, correct?
Yep.
It'd be awful nice to be able to get that extra little pop when you need it. If you get the gem dust, we can make something like that happen. And if we get these amethyst gems brushed up, we can use a little bit with them.
Hey, I'm all about taking some of your flim flam and throwing it on a sword, seeing what I can do with it. So I trust you enough now, I think. That sounds fun.
See what we can get rolling.
For reference, there is 5,296 gold in the party bank.
I thought you said 8,000.
That's how much you all have together.
So I'm looking at it. It says party bank 110 platinum. And then 520 gold, so that would be 6,300 gold, plus 900 more from the silver, plus 70 from the copper. if that the image in the party bank is
The image in the party inventory is correct. But now that, let me see here. Oh, where'd it go? Oh yeah, I thought we lost it for a second. Yeah, no, that is correct. So that total there, that 8,000, is all of your, like, that's your individuals and your party bank, all stacked up together. And that divided is that divided by 6. Just to kind of, it's just trying to give a metric of an idea to help us, since money's all over the place.
Okay. Do you think it might be a good idea to like keep a separate line somewhere visible so we know like here's stuff we haven't divided out that's just in a pot versus
That's the
individual
5,000
character sheets too?
That's the 5,296 you see under GG.
Okay. Got it.
See, Zephyr's a rich kid,
Well,
and he doesn't understand this concept of keeping track of your money.
And GG, if we add all those up, we have 73,000.
Okay. Because of your copper and
We've
your
got-
platinum and your silvers.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take your word
So
for it.
altogether, we have 7,300, 7,366 to be precise. We could take a chunk of that. If we want to take a couple thousand of that and get some gem dust, some spell scrolls. I personally want to get some ink to add some stuff to my book, but
I don't think ink costs very much.
well, it depends. So if I do a second level spell, I think I need 100 gold pieces. I've got it written down.
Is it in this chat right here?
A level 2 spell is 100 gold of ink. For me to take a spell scroll and put it into my book for multiple use.
Oh, I see. No, I mean, you can take a pretty solid chunk out of that from what I'm looking at. There are, just based on that number of how much you would have if everything was split equally, you could take a big chunk. Well, I shouldn't say big. I mean, you are entitled, in my opinion. I know
Divided by
this isn't
by
entirely my
5?
decision, but you are entitled to 5 to 800 gold.
well, the 73 divided by 5 is 1,400. The 7366 divided by 6 is 1,200. And let me make sure this is clear. The ink and stuff is for me specifically. The gem dust is for me to enchant your items, y'all collectively. Preferably something either nice as is or, relatively new, something that we won't drop if you get something, super stout. For those of you who have multiple weapons, it's a little easier. If y'all are cool, I'll take 2K from the party bank. I'll use 1,000, so under what my share would be for ink and scrolls, and then 1,000 for gem dust. And then we can liquidate the amethyst gem dust. So we'll have... I'll write it out. So,
You don't need to use that. Like, can you use that item, or is that just a resale item?
what
The amethyst
amethyst?
gem does. Yeah.
I think it's just a resale thing. We can use it. We can try to sell the amethyst to Sly if he'll give us more coin for it. We will try to do... I'm personally in favor of breaking it down to try to use his dust. We could talk to Sly since we have to go to him anyway, see if he'll give us more than it's worth, more than the 250. But, that's a stretch. Maybe if Zephyr bats his eyelids just right,
Zephyr
Put on the
hates
old
Sly.
razzle dazzle. Exactly. So I want to screw him out of as much as I can.
Yeah.
I could try to
No,
say
I
if
mean,
there's
'cause-
a innuendo for hate sex there or not. We'll come back to that.
There's only a couple items I'm looking for, and I mean, in my personal bank, I currently have almost 650 gold, so I wouldn't have to take very much out of the party bank if it costed a lot more. So I'm just like, whatever, use it for what you need to. If it's going to help the party, I don't care.
What do we feel about the amethyst? Try to sell him to Sly first, or go ahead and for dust?
I mean, I'm indifferent.
I don't know that Sly is going to want to give us a price for it. I feel like Sly might try to give us a worse price for it. We might be better off just going to like the Mercane or something and being like, hey, we'll sell this or trade it if you got something cool.
Normally, I would agree with you, but I feel like because it's amethyst, which seems to be part of his general vibe, he might, we could say something, like we could get 250 for this, but if you provide a sweeter offer, I don't know, try to see if it's worth a nibble.
Doesn't hurt.
Also,
I don't hate
didn't we talk about one of us lying to him? Like we talked about how to lie to
Had a
Sly
little bit
in
of
case
a
he does.
discussion about it.
Me.
Yeah.
Have me do it.
You have the
I'm
highest
down.
deception. I think we did say that, but I feel like I had something to either give you a hand with it. I can't think of what I would possibly have
I have to
to.
double check when I go back to my computer, but I think my deception's +7 right now.
Oh, does Goop have, what is it, enhance ability?
He has guidance. I don't know if he has enhanced ability prepped.
Okay. Guidance is. How long does
A
that last?
D4.
Only a minute, right?
Yeah, it's a touch spell.
A touch
So-
spell for how long though?
I think it is just a minute,
I
but like
can
it's
pull it
it's
up.
burned on
I
the
gotcha.
like you burn it when you use it.
Oh no, I think
What's
it's. Oh yes, it is one-time use. Yeah.
who has good persuasion? I'm gonna assume also Zephyr.
Also
Probably.
charisma. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull those characters up where I can see it.
Because I was just thinking, even from the outset of the conversation, like if he tries to use Zone of Truth or something again, I feel like somebody should just try to convince him that's not necessary. Like we've reached a point in our relationship now where I feel like we can just have a conversation. And it should make the interaction a little bit easier if we can convince him that that's the case.
Not a bad idea. Guidance is just a minute though, so it wouldn't be viable.
Well, Mantis, it sounds like you guys have bought 1,000 gold worth of gem dust and 1,000 gold worth of ink.
I'm gonna use the ink between ink and spell scroll, so I'll give you that up. But I am spending it all in Moorgrave, probably with Sybil.
You get lots of raised eyebrows and flirtatious looks when you drop 100 platinum
That's about to
for
say, do you want platinum
materials
for the show.
Yeah, like click, clack, clack. I think it's in stacks, stacks of 5. That's a lot. Yikes.
Deimos counts them all very loudly in the middle of the library too. 1, 2, 3.
It's a real good way to get robbed there.
And the undergraduate students are like, what degree
Mug
did
us.
he get?
The greedy to get for sure. Okay. Anything else you guys would like to do at Moorgrave? Anywhere you'd like to go before you go talk to Sly? Would you like to keep planning before you go talk to Sly? That is also on the table. But I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, just so y'all know, my deception and my persuasion are both +7.
Sick.
Okay, so we're putting you up front. Got it.
Okay.
At some point, I want to go back shopping. I want to swing by that random
Oh God.
antiquities shop that we
Yeah.
hit that one time.
Yeah.
Talk to that person again, and then maybe just go to and I don't want to do it right now. I want to get the thing with Sly done first. But while we're in town, and then maybe see if I could find a regular event shop that might have some gear.
Okay. Wonderful. You guys. All right. Well, let me ask you this. You guys gonna go to the Diamond Theater and look for Sly? You gonna contact him on your little, what I call it the other day? It made me giggle. Pocket rock. Sorry. It just it hurt me that day. I was like, pocket rock. God damn it. You guys can call him and summon him to your abode, or you can go find him.
I feel like summoning him is the least suspicious. Like, we got nothing to hide. Come on over.
Oh yeah, I can
That's
meet
a
him
fair
in
point.
the entertaining area by the piano and stuff.
So, just to reiterate before Mrs. Slack comes, we're not mentioning the Ori whatsoever. We will talk about the Naga and the barrier. You, handsome, have to spearhead the conversation. So if he asked you, did you find anything of interest? And you can be like, the giant fucking bone snake that nearly scared me shitless. Yeah. Well, that ain't even a lie.
Yeah, not a lie.
That's white.
If you
Dark
press this
mode,
further-
motherfucker. Do you speak it?
I didn't even feel comfortable sharing, distract him a little bit. Look at the bones. They got runes on them. When we killed the snake, the barrier fell. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what's up with this snake. My friends told me it was talking dragon or something.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, let's. Deimos pulls out his rock pocket, extends the antenna, and gives him a ring. Tells him to meet us at the Mantis HQ.
All right. All right, all right, all right. These are going to be big. Don't be alarmed. That didn't sound great.
I was. Oh, my wedding night. I remember it well.
Sorry, I'm just going to find Cade.
For much of the fam, that night's a blur.
Cade doesn't have... I remember that day. I was... Well, yeah, half of them
You were the
drunk.
only one who remembers
Yeah,
that.
yeah, half of them were drunk before we ever got started. I was going to do Cade's token, but he doesn't have one. I apologize. Cade is there, too. I have his picture, but no token. My boy Cade been done wrong by me, and only me. All right.
Groom.
You guys...
will play something on the piano.
I'll greet him when he walks in. Like, oh, long time no see, partner. Still like that hat.
Yeah, they're not too hard to get hold of. This one's a little beat up. It's going to be time for a new one eventually. I like to keep them till something either eats it off of me or burns it off of me.
That's a fine way to do it. No point in throwing something away. It still works, right?
It does its job for sure. How are you all? You all were gone for a hot minute, which we expected, but we're glad y'all made it back. I'm glad y'all made it back.
We are too. Had quite a time. Got lots to share with you two.
Well, I'd hope so. That is what you've been hired to do.
Well,
sounds like y'all done a
I'll tell
good
you
job.
what.
I can't wait to hear it. And Sly and Kay do make their way into your lounge, whatever you want to call it. Looks like a lounge to me.
Our music room.
Yes, but there's piano over there. And
Deimos will
they
to
all
drop some Travis Scotty.
I
Just
see.
made up a fucking Russian sounding name.
So Sly will sit down in one of the chairs or cushions or whatever. He seems very relaxed. Kate, on the other hand, kind of stays on the wall near the door. Sly says, he kind of looks around and says, well, I know y'all hadn't got to spend too much time in it, but I am hoping this abode is adequate.
It's cozy.
It's rather nice.
Good, as it should be. Now, what did you tell him you were reporting back for the mission? So he says, I would love to hear what you all found out there on Therendor. I will congratulate you all now. As soon as the barrier had dropped, we sent ships that way and did a thorough combing of the area. So I'm very pleased you all accomplished the mission. It is much appreciated. And he will actually go ahead and take your 5,000 gold pieces and drop the bag down on the table he's sitting near.
Oh, yeah.
5,000?
Yeah.
Deimos begins playing on the piano.
This is now. Now I would love to hear y'all.
What kind of music you playing?
Russian classical.
Damn, I was gonna go Sinatra.
Perfect.
Moonlit Sonata.
Dostoevsky, Rachmaninoff, Morgussi,
Dostoevsky.
Masagrosky. Wow.
Oof. Demos has got problems if he's playing Dostoevsky. Oof. Chbosky's even worse. Okay. All right.
Wait, I've got to do this just for the shits and giggles of it. How bad is it?
Oh no, what are you doing? I'm scared.
13. Most of the keys are hit correctly.
Is that a performance
All
check or
of
something?
them. Yeah, 13.
So Kate, you can tell Sly very unimpressed. Cade over here or maybe the other way around. Sly mildly impressed. Cade just looks disgusted.
The bard's like, that ain't Johnny Cash.
Sly says, now, of course, we have had some of our people comb the area, but I am morbidly curious to hear your mission report.
Well, morbidly's a good place to be.
Big scary
Zephyr-
snake.
Why don't you show him our latest trophy, Zephyr?
I start sweating and kind of visibly get very uncomfortable as I pull out wherever we've got our stash of bones.
And
And I'm just this nasty, filthy, vile.
So, point of order: do you give him or do you present to him the skull too?
Yes. We've translated it, so I feel like we don't need it anymore.
Heard. I was just wondering because it is obviously the biggest piece.
Yeah.
So he looks and Cade, you can see on Cade's face, he's like, "What the fuck was that thing?" Sly's much harder to read. He says, "A big nasty snake, huh? Well, I've been called that before, but I may need you to elaborate just a little bit. This thing was there."
It was made of bones. This isn't us. We didn't skin it. We didn't, like, eat its meat. This is how it came out of the ground. It's scary.
With all those markings on it.
Yep.
Yes, they are an ancient form of draconic, as we've been able to identify. It is seem to be the we as in the party, of course. The six of us.
Make a deception check.
Wait, hang on. Let me see what my rolls were for the last prescience.
Prescience?
A 20 and a 14 on the 28th of Baracus. We're still in that long rest, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. That wasn't a long rest, I don't think.
I will.
Good,
the 28th was. I will take. First, I'll start with the lucky point. Okay, I'll take that 20.
Sorry, I don't have my.
And I helped him out
here.
by a speaking draconic.
Yeah, sing a little bit of that song.
I don't think you speak Draconic, do you?
I do.
You said you spoke Primordial and something else.
I speak Common, Draconic, Primordial, and Thryking.
See,
Has an extensive education,
he does.
private school and all.
I love it. Okay, now hold up. He already rolled, so you need to say stuff like that before they roll. You're changing your deception to a 20. Demos, is that what I heard?
I'm changing my deception, yeah. I'm not changing
20. Yeah.
his roll, yeah.
No, I got you. Okay. 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 Interesting. He says that is impressive for a somewhat inexperienced group. Now, Wow. This thing was there. What did it do? You all killed it for some reason, I'm sure.
It attacked us. Like
that is the primary reason. The rules engraved upon the beast are abjuration in nature. They provided the barrier that was the source of your dome.
Now
It was a guardian. What happened was we were trying to get through the barrier, and then it came at us when I shot an arrow at it. So we merely killed it in self-defense, and then when we did, the barrier dropped.
No, that sounds pretty par for the course, actually. Shoot an arrow or something, make something mad, kill it. I've been there a time or two. So, that's very interesting. Is it at all possible you'd be willing to relinquish this skull to me for a time to verify your theories?
For a time would be appreciated. It is, as you can imagine, a rather handsome centerpiece. I'm thinking of placing it above Zephyr's bed, but perhaps in here wouldn't be too bad either.
It would make a nice ornament over the door. But no, I would be glad to return it after professionals of the eye have either verified your theories or created their own, if they disagree. But no, I would be glad to return it. And he doesn't motion to Cade, but he kind of makes a look at him.
Cade, the fucking halfling, carry this giant skull out.
Cade's a human.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Move it over that.
But he doesn't carry it out, but you get the kind of the idea. That's the plan. They're going to grab it before they leave. Slack sits back, and you guys watch him actually take a flask out of his jacket pocket, and he doesn't just nip his flask. He's like, glop glop, before he puts it back in his shirt. He says, "Now you all believe this is a guardian. Any inkling of what it was guarding? I'm sure you were all the first to sweep the area. Surely there was something of note in the barrier."
Well, to be honest, there were some other figures heading that way, and we didn't want to linger too long, so we took a quick glance and got the hell out of Dodge.
Anyone that wants to make an inside check.
Actually, it is important for me to say we did find something that I think you'll be rather fond of. And Deimos will lay out the amethyst gems to try to distract them.
Make that inside check, anyone that wants to. He sees that, so he Well, let's see these insight checks for narrate what I was
18?
about to say. 18's pretty good. So
I got a dirty 20.
dirty 20. Okay. Demos and Echo, you guys notice that when you say other figures, like you imply that there were other people in the area, he gets a little stiff. It's really difficult to tell if he's angry or surprised or scared, but there is a little bit of a reaction of being told that there were other people in the area. He obviously doesn't know about these big metal things, so he thinks they're people. And when you lay the amethyst out, he does. The imperceptible stiffness kind of softens, and he looks at him and says, "Those are mighty nice, actually. They are
Desert
for
Rose
sale."
Amethyst. Yes, we had an offer for. What was it, Zephyr?
Zephyr's just kind of still watching the door where the bone snake was removed and just kind of waiting for it to come back. And he's like, "Wait, what?"
How much did offered for those amethyst gems?
A lot. Just kind of.
Hmm,
I'm still.
that
Zephyr's
does
still
sound on
kind
the
of
nose.
nervous. The bone snake's got him rattled.
Oh,
Rattled his bones.
I gotcha. And rattlesnake. I mean, it's a double one. I love it.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Now I'm going to be singing Rattlesnake all night. This is your fault. Shush.
Did Megan start singing?
It's really weird. The random King Grizzard and the Lizard Wizard plug. Y'all go listen to Rattlesnake. 17 minutes of them just saying Rattlesnake. Anyway, Sly says, you see, your friend is awful shaken by that thing there. You got a problem with snakes there, Zephyr?
Snakes where? And I just kind of drop.
Full on Scooby Doo. Snakes? Where?
Yeah, that's a yes.
Well,
Little bit.
Well, I mean, take a glance at him. He's got several issues, as you can see.
I'll keep that in mind, I guess.
But those gems there, they are worth a pretty penny, I'll tell you. You know, and I kind of flash, I guess, my rings and stuff, like, almost showing off that I would know my stuff, I guess. But I'm still obviously cowering from the floor, but kind of pointing up, just, you know.
Now, I'm sure you're all aware I could purchase most jewelry of my choosing. Says, I would be willing to purchase this off of Yins. He kind of eyeballs it, and he says, is there a reason you brought this to me particularly? A jeweler would have given you the best price, or someone who can enchant.
Well, to be perfectly honest, being a man of my craft, I would much rather just break these down into dust and use them to enchant some of our finer pieces. However, I do respect a man with exceptional presentation, and I will gesture to some of his rose gold amethyst pieces. And admittedly, when I saw it, I thought of you. I figured I'd give you the first dibs before I take him to the mortar and pedestal. After all, these are incredibly rare desert amethysts on an isolated planet far, far, far away from this system.
Son, I'm
Plus,
very aware that there are many of them stalagmites sticking out of that section of desert.
Could I,
of course, but you gotta travel the month there and fight whatever's made its burrow.
Could I
do not.
I was just like, could I, like, handle them and almost, like, I guess kind of, like, channel my magic a little bit to make them, like, sparkly? Because my magic's, like, purple and cyan, so, like, if I'm just kind of holding it and fiddling with them and making them look extra appealing.
Accidental Eldritch Blast across the room.
Zephyr's fondling his jewels again.
Yes, I love fondling the jewels.
There you go, Zephyr.
So
It's incredible how much this chick has the male psyche nailed. I mean, it's crazy.
No, I'm spot on, man. I've lived with a man for 13 years. I know how this works.
Hey.
I love you.
Sly says, I would be much more interested in spending coin on that skull, but I understand if that's not for sale. I will take these off the books, not as an agent, but as someone who is interested and has the ability to do similar things. I may grind them up myself, but there is a possibility I can make items of my own. Do you have a price in mind?
I'm sorry, you cut out for that last bit. One more time.
Do you have? He just asked if you had a price in mind.
What do you think, Zephyr? You almost lost a leg, the other leg, for this. What do you say, about 500 gold?
Yeah, I mean that seems right. And I'm,
If 100 for each toe, I mean, it only seems fair. Like,
you know.
You know, it's funny.
Kate, how much would you value your toes?
Kate looks mortified. You know,
What'd you say, 100 a pop? 200? Would the pinky be less than the big toe, or all the same?
He says, y'all really don't seem to like to take my toes. I sure as fucking hope not. And Sly kind of chuckling at Katie, he says to you guys, it's funny you brought that up. That is an awful nice piece of prosthetic you've got on your leg, Zephyr. I am mighty curious where that came from.
Oh, this old thing? You know, just found it in the scrap heap, and I just kind of ding, like, slap it.
Make a deception check.
So many Eldritch blasts in it.
Here's something true. He's passed out at least 3 times during the installation. Like,
and I just kind of, like, throw one of the smaller gems that I'm, like, fondling at you.
Go ahead and make your deception check.
Deception check.
Zephyr just with 2 amethysts, like, rolling them in his hand.
Unlucky 13.
I almost like to imagine they're sitting across from each other in, like, armchairs, like, staring each other down. Sly just this, like, totally chill stone face, and Zephyr over here, like, deep blue stare, fucking spit at him. Okay, 13.
The leg's a touchy subject, so, you know, Zephyr's obviously bothered by his, you know, insecurities about his less than perfect leg.
I have been around a long time. I have never seen prosthetic crafted to that degree. I would pay a pretty penny if you could reveal some things. You don't even have to tell the rest of them. You just want to tell me. I'll make sure you get coin for it. He turns back to the amethyst. He says, I'm not sure I could turn back around and sell anything I made for 500 gold. 300 gold.
400.
I was gonna say it. Thank you.
350.
375.
Deal.
Woo. Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Zephyr's like obviously bothered by his leg, so he's getting more bold.
We haggled him for 125 gold. I'll take it.
Go and subtract that amethyst from the party bank if you have a second.
Yes, sir.
I already got the gold. He says, well, now that this paltry distractions are done with, you all never really answered my question about what you thought the Naga was guarding.
The barrier, I thought, buddy.
You have
We didn't
established.
exactly ask it.
He did ask earlier. Then y'all
No,
started
we
throwing
didn't ask the Naga.
the Naga. Oh, I see. I like to think Sly rolls his eyes, but Cade chuckles. He says,
That's a quarter clip.
Now you all have to understand. We had people on the ground hours after you left. And
Did they encounter those other figures that we mentioned?
no, there were corpses and very odd reports of I don't quite know what they are, to be honest. They likened them to Warforged, but said they were not Warforged.
Those were present when we were there, but we saw some figures in the distance approaching. If your men were not first on the scene after we were, that may be something you need to look into. We were hired, as you recall, just to remove the barrier. We had taken quite a nasty chomp from that viper, so we decided not to linger once we realized fresh enemies were on the horizon.
Especially since I was panicking and throwing up because, snakes and all.
So you all left as soon as the barrier was broken.
Yes.
Relatively quickly. We did do a little scan, collect our jewels and shiny.
All right, Zephyr, I need that deception check again because that was a straight up lie.
You saying I didn't throw up because of the snake, though? Like I
feel like that was
ready to get
technically
out
never-
of there.
No, you guys most certainly did not bail as soon as the barrier was broken.
No, yeah.
I mentally bailed as soon as the barrier was broken. Wow.
Ooh,
Damn.
Zephyr. So Sly doesn't look.
Well, of course we
irritated.
didn't leave. Of course we didn't leave immediately after. We had to collect the bones and the bits and the baubles. There was stuff that needed harvesting.
And I had to catch my breath because I almost lost another leg thanks to you. Kind of huff.
We weren't sure what other traps might linger in the area, so we figured it'd be best to leave it up to your group.
Okay. So his body posture changes a little. He doesn't seem angry, but he's not loungy anymore. He kind of sits
Just
up
disappointed.
with his back straight. Kind of looks forward.
Dad's mad.
Yeah, disappointed dad vibes. There you go. He says, now I understand that we have sent you guys after something we believe. I was open. We believed there was something particularly powerful behind that barrier. Whatever, we could not locate anything like that hours after you left. Now, I understand could be a possibility that these unusual metal beings could have had a hand in that. But I also need you to understand that I obviously have not brought any of my previous tactics here. We are now in a business relationship, and should I find that you all are withholding more information than I am getting, or withholding more information than if the information I'm being given is not worth, you're withholding more than you're giving me, well then this business relationship can be terminated.
Zephyr, I don't believe. Have we said anything untruthful, Zephyr?
We absolutely
He's had
have
to make
not.
2 deception checks. He's lied twice. And he's
Well-
failed twice. So
Well,
Sly is like,
So he failed even with the one being changed to a nat 20? The first deception
you changed
check?
yours.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
changed
did.
yours.
You did.
Yeah, because I had that 11 and I did lucky for the 4. So okay, that nat 20 wasn't worth 2 successes though.
Not a skill challenge.
Um,
Y'all been pretty good about being careful, but there's a couple of, like, y'all should have known it was going to be hard. He was up front. He's like, we think there's something in there. And he still thinks there's something in there based
No,
on
yeah.
the stuff y'all
So-
failed.
Deimos will square up a little bit towards Zephyr actually. Zephyr, I need to know: are you being absolutely honest with all of us?
Why would I lie to you? You're my favorite one in this whole group. You're the only one that doesn't give me the ick.
Deimos
And then I look
blushes a
over
little
at
bit.
Echo and I'm like, wait, okay. Maybe one of like 2.
Drix is like scratching his mushroom growth and spreading spores everywhere.
And I just
I'll
kind
lean
of
back in my
put
chair.
my hand up to my face, just not looking at him very consciously, like very uncomfortable with the bugs in the room.
I'll lean back in my chair and throw my feet up in a stool, and I put my katana sheathed on the table and just squint at Zephyr. Cross my 2 little arms in front of my chest.
Throw
Goob
up
just
my
turns into
arms,
the giant
I'm
middle
just like,
finger.
Listen,
Goop
you
finger.
send me into the desert with a bunch of snakes and all these bugs, and you think I'm gonna lie to you after that? I am hurt that you wouldn't believe me.
I would like to make that a 14, which with his modifier is a 21.
That wasn't a deception check or anything. Sly takes a
Well,
big.
for clarification, one of her deception checks was about her foot, not necessarily the mission.
That's true.
Right, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But she has lied to
Okay.
him twice, and he has caught it twice.
Well, I'm
Okay.
uncomfortable. It's not that I lied. I
Or
dodged.
he has. God damn it.
I'm very
Uh,
uncomfortable with my leg. And I just kind of like rubbing it and I'm like, listen. I will give you information about my leg. I'm not shy about that, but it is a little bit of a trauma dump here. I had to go through a whole lot to get this leg, sir.
Sly kind of, you see him take a big breath, let it out, and he says, all right, I see two options here. Well, more than that, but let's try this. Is there a price I could name for you to tell me whatever was behind that Sovereign's damned barrier?
No price, because there wasn't anything that we found. I mean, obviously, those other guys might have found something, whatever they were on the horizon, but we split.
I
20,000
would
gold
say
pieces.
whoever was responsible for putting the Naga there. I don't know if it has to do with these markings on the bones or what.
Sly will say, he will repeat this, I would be willing to pay 20,000 gold pieces for the full story.
There is no story.
But we are aware
I don't know,
we
guys.
did comb some of the ruins and found, he begins to talk a little bit. He references the broken shards of glass that you had looked at, Demos. It says that we have pieced together small bits. Some druids from some civilization, it seems, may have been responsible for setting all that up. So you can understand the eyes are very curious why typically druids only seal things away for a very good reason.
Tell me, what you say druids from some civilization, with the eyes, very expansive intelligence network, would y'all happen to be aware of what kind of civilization, or when, or a name, or anything
It is
that might have
very
inhabited?
it is very difficult to tell. Obviously, we still have people going back and forth to study.
See.
I mean, it seems like you have more information than us.
That is my job. And he kind of smiles. He says, surely you didn't think I would come into this without knowing most of the puzzle pieces. How else would I know when you're withholding pieces?
How do you even know we're withholding? Because we ain't. I'm going to stand by that.
I've got to give Zephyr points. That's like the third lie after the last two bad checks, and Zephyr's really going hard on it. At this point, Sly is more or less assuming you're lying.
Well, that's on him, not me.
You know.
Drix and Carter are back here not saying a fucking thing. We're just
He says, okay. You have done what you have fulfilled your mission. That much is true. It is clear that it's clear I won't be able to get that information the easy way. Now,
Because there's no information.
I would still be interested. Is that a fucking what's it called reference?
El Dorado, kind of, yes. But I was like, I don't know at what point Deimos went from the piano to the guitar, but he picked up a different instrument in the room and has just been hammering it ever since.
you fight like my sister.
I fought your
anyway,
sister.
this is System of a Down.
He Sly says, okay, we maybe can come back to this another time. I would be interested, Zephyr, if you would be willing to tell me the whole story of how you got that leg. I would pay you an additional 5,000 gold pieces. But you can have a minute to think about that.
I mean, joke's on him. I lost my leg. I got a new leg. It wasn't anything special.
Well, Deimos seeing a financial opportunity. Well, Zephyr, if you wouldn't mind being honest, we could share the gentleman who attached your prosthetic, can we not?
Yeah, I mean, dude with no teeth in the middle of space, bumfuck nowhere.
Really the best man to have the job. Boomhauer, I think his name was. That's not true. Max.
Max. It was Max.
on the Rock of Brawl.
And he
rather skilled
Hauser.
mechanic.
He made it to that specification. He made that. He points to Zephyr's leg.
You know, there was a lot of blood involved. I don't know if I really caught the whole thing, but he was the one who made the stump turn into a leg. That's for sure.
Go ahead and make
Best
that.
price in the whole city.
Go ahead and make that deception check, Zephyr. This one's gonna be a little lower. The DC is.
I'm
Wow.
I'm not
All right.
though. Like,
I'll make that a 14 for a 21.
Tell us.
So well, that's the thing with Sly. So Sly being a good bit older than you guys, he knows Automail doesn't look like that. It looks like a Warforged limb. Your deception check, since Demos fixed it, he says that if there really is a backspace hillbilly on the Rock of Brawl making stuff like that, the Eye is about to make him an extremely wealthy man. I will be looking into this.
Keep in mind, he's a little bit sour. Don't take no offense. I think it's just how he is.
That's all right. You get used to sour folk in this line of work. There ain't no one in this room really a ray of sunshine except maybe Cade. He says, now, on to maybe more pleasant business. I do have a proposition. In the past, this is not the first time that I have employed proxies like Cade to gather a skilled group of individuals. And sometimes in the past, they have been more comfortable continuing the relationship through Cade. It's become obvious to me that you all have things to hide. That is to be expected in relationships like this. If you are all more comfortable, you could continue business through Cade here on out.
I do like Cade.
Cade is under the freedom to share with me what he pleases. He is not obligated to give me the whole story.
Yeah, I say we do that.
Whether he does or not is up to him.
I don't know, does somebody want to make an insight check to see if that seems like it's true?
Sure.
No, yeah, 100%. I just realized that was probably directed at me. My brain's over here like, yeah,
That
they can.
is a nat 20.
Here's I got a nat 20 over there, brother. That's good.
Okay. Echo, you pick up several things. Sly is not lying, but Cade looks very nervous. You almost get the idea that he's been voluntold. This is not something Sly discussed with him beforehand. Sly has just kind of put him out here as like, you could tell Cade all these things instead if you wanted, if it made you more comfortable. And I would say with a natural 20, you are a little bit uncertain about where Cade's loyalties lie. You think that if Sly were to apply enough pressure, he could get a solid amount of things out of Cade.
He can't relay that to us, though.
But
y'all don't have to say yes or no right now. I will.
Well, I was gonna say out of character here. I mean, wouldn't he be probably easier to deceive if we were lying or withholding information if it was Cade?
That is a fair point. Sly does seem quite piercing in his perception.
I feel like Cade would be more trusting of us just because he's our friend.
Yeah, we're the champions.
Is he your friend?
So.
He's our little bud. Got us the whole gang together.
Y'all may never know.
Whatever.
I would
In character.
kind of I guess brush nonchalantly, just whoever we happen to run into first, kind of thing. Like sometimes you're busy, sometimes Cade's busy. We'll, as something comes along, like implying that we wouldn't directly not go to you,
Okay.
and we wouldn't.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, that is
Whatever's the
efficient.
most convenient."
Yeah, that is efficient, and I respect that. Now that the shitty stuff is behind us, I do have another job opportunity if y'all are interested. Perhaps not quite as adventurous as this one.
No snakes.
Not that I'm aware of.
Better not be.
No, so you are all probably aware at this point that you all are employed in this fashion so that the Royal Eyes are able to conduct operations without them being directly related to us. Now we have obtained sounds a bad way to say that. We have recently secured a VIP that we would like to move. He's being moved from Sean to, Stark. I'm going to go ahead and pull an Eberron map for you guys, mostly so I can see the name of the city again. And because some of you haven't seen this really cool map. I love this map. Sometimes I just sit and look at it. It's one of my more favorite maps of Campaign settings. Okay, sorry. Get my brain together. You guys who have never played in Eberron before, if you'll go down to the south, you'll see there's Breland and Zilargo. You guys are technically in Breland, the Kingdom of Breland. Sharn is right here. You guys are in the Hilt, so that's why y'all are technically a coastal city and things like that. To give you guys a little bit of reference. So all the big names are obviously countries. If you scroll straight up to, and you see Undare, that's where the Silver Eyes, that's the country the Silver Eyes serve, or the Royal Eyes, excuse me. That's the country they serve. Their capital is Fairhaven, which is right here. So just to kind of give you guys a geopolitical reference for, Sly works for an organization out of Undare. You guys are in Breland down here. But he tells you guys, he says, we are moving this VIP by lightning rail to Star Alaska. It's right here. So these orange lines, those are a railroad system called lightning rails. You all would be aware of this for the most part by now. They're all over Eberron, not just Sharn. He says, we're going to take this VIP through by lightning rail up to Starlasker, where he will be handed off to another handler that works for the Eyes. Now, of course, I would not be looking to hire help if this wasn't risky. This VIP is heavily hunted for reasons we don't quite understand. If y'all are interested, we would pay 8,000 gold pieces if you complete the handoff.
That's a hefty sum.
You give us a skosh more of information as to who this individual is? You say you don't know why they're being pursued, but surely there has to be some reason for this level of security detail.
He is an artificer, a skilled one at that. And it is rumored, he has started the rumor, that he may know something about how the autonomes are created. We have made some attempts to verify, but with men like this who are willing to come help us instead, it is easier to just get him back to Undare where he can begin to display his knowledge. I cannot confirm for you if he actually knows anything about the autonomes, but his talents are worth the gold to us regardless.
You say highly sought after. Talking like people trying to put him in the ground. What are we looking at here?
Sounds like people acquiring him for his particular skill set. Probably not wanting him dead, but wanting him to be working on.
At a minimum, we know he is chased by a bounty hunter. I do not know anything about the particular bounty hunter, but his reputation is fearsome, to my understanding.
Carry a couple of pistols by chance? Yellow skin? Kind of a fuck?
Y'all, Sly makes a little bit of a face. Y'all seen a Gith Yankee this close into Eberron space?
We had a negative encounter with one on the rock.
Interesting.
Not something.
But no, a Goliath, to my understanding.
Drix would ask what the name of this bounty hunter would be if you know it.
He tells you it's Vimac.
Vimac. That bastard.
Vimac, he's got a title. Star Reaper.
Daddy.
Vimac always sells the best jobs away from me.
Make a history check with advantage, Drix. Star Reaper.
Reaper.
Tell me that roll when it rolls, please, Drix, because I don't have
4 and 13.
A 4 and a 13. Okay, for a 13. Drix, you have heard rumors. You do know that there are some wild spacers / bounty hunters that have made quite a name for themselves for not only for kind of like I'll say it this way. There is a subset of very skilled bounty hunters, very powerful bounty hunters who who have made that their whole life. They wear all their contracts on their biceps like you do. They're usually very well armored and very skilled. Most of them have made their fortune bounty hunting already and have continued to do so. Many of them got their start as adventuring groups and eventually became powerful enough to operate solo. Vimac, you've heard the name a couple of times. Mostly seems to conduct business out of the rock and is one of the more prolific bounty hunters.
Oh yeah.
How long we have to decide? I assume that there's a specific date you want to move him.
We would like to move him as soon as possible. If you need a few days to decide, I understand, but I would prefer to be let know as soon as possible. We are ready to move him within a day or two, but we can wait probably as much as a week.
And refresh me if this has already been said, but would we have an idea of how long that trip would be by rail?
It's going to be about 2 days.
2 days.
That thing goes 30 miles an hour. It's fast. Well, I
And
guess
to
not.
clarify, the reason I asked what type of pursuit there is because I want to know if I need to be like keeping this guy from getting sniped from the side of a train, right? Or if it's less a concern of him getting killed and more keeping people away from him. Because that changes how we protect him, in my opinion.
If it's Viramax, there's no telling, Randy. We have to be prepared for anything.
Yeah. We don't have
Wouldn't it
any
be-
evidence that anyone wants him dead, but that could change quickly if they believe they're going to lose him.
Wouldn't it be quicker if we just took him on our ship to Starlasker?
Technically, our ship moves like 8 miles an hour.
Or safer?
Our spaceship moves 8 miles an hour. If I recall correctly on the conversion chart of that spreadsheet or that stat block.
Sly does tell you, Echo, he says, we have considered this, but we kind of expect that the skies will be heavily watched. We feel like that is, we feel like the benefit of the lightning rail is an non-amenity. That it would be, they were less likely to check there than they are for a Spelljammer.
Should
Of
we
course,
assume there are
if-
going to be other passengers on the boat or on the?
Yeah,
I
it
assume you
is-
didn't buy it out. You wanted it to be organic.
Yes, it is. Organic's a good way to put it. It is a public train.
We
All right.
even on public trains, sometimes they have private cars. If you were to provide additional funds, we could pretty much guarantee a much higher rate of security. Is there a private car box or something that I could we could
No,
purchase?
he says that is a possibility. If you all come back and accept the job, we can discuss these things at length. But as of now, it's wasted words if you all are not participating.
I'm not opposed to it, but if any of my compatriots wish to speak it over first, then I'll yield to their desires. Give us just a moment, and Deimos will point at Randy and say, "You can reply to this message." He'll say that out loud as he's casting the message spell, and this way you can telepathically. You can do it already, but this sort of prompts it.
I mean, and when you say "give me just a moment," Sly and Cade step out of the room.
Okay, even better.
Easy enough.
Still telepathic, just in case.
Still,
Also, A1 is somewhere like locked in the basement. Like, just
Oh yeah.
I have an idea.
oh yeah.
If you choose to accept this mission, I have a particular set of skills. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I could basically make a body double of this guy. And if we could disguise the real him, it would increase the safety.
I do like that.
I don't tell anyone this. In fact, I've never told anyone this, but I'm a changeling. I can change my appearance to look like it.
Oh shit.
Don't kill me, please.
Kill
You
you.
can change your appearance.
Turn into me.
Cordo kind of perks up.
I'm curious.
I can't turn into a Thrycreen. Only a humanoid.
A
Shucks.
dragonborn?
They are
I think
humanoid.
raw. I could,
I think they're humanoid.
as long
I think
as
they're
I
humanoid.
have, as long as I have seen the person, I can change my appearance to look like them.
Like you're shitting me. I'm gonna need some proof of concept here.
As
Cordo
he
gets
says
excited.
this,
He's like, show me, show me,
I
show me.
would. I guess I would change into Deimos and then just like start like kind of like ribbing him, like just asking Zephyr, hey, where'd you get that foot from, huh? Like, what kind of dreams do you have? Like, oh my gosh, where does your purple fire come from? Like,
I do
he's
not
good.
sound like that.
oh, excuse me, my name is Delamore Delacroix Della
Della
who gives a shit.
Slap my hand on the table. I'm like, absolutely uncanny. It's incredible.
flawless in every way. I must admit. No. All right. Well,
At
that's
this-
a rather.
I said
Sorry,
at
go ahead,
this, Cordo gets really excited at Echo changing his shape. And he's just like,
Oh,
that was very
shit.
interesting. How did you do that? Was it this? And he uses his wild shape to turn into one of the tiny bone snakes, and he falls like right in front of Zephyr's feet.
Wait. Wait. It turns Drix and Cordo, or just Cordo?
Yeah, they're one body.
Okay, I gotcha. Like, I feel like
into a
Drix
bone
is an
snake.
unwilling participant in this endeavor.
Oh, he's unwilling in all of this. Yeah.
God, that's
Like-
really hard
Like I
because
said, I've never told anyone this, so I would appreciate if you keep it a secret. Not many
No.
people like changelings.
I understand and respect your caution and your secret's safe with us. I'm rather fascinated. I have a lot of questions, but the precedent has been set that I'm a nosy asshole, and I'm trying to work on it. So
I mean, Zephyr here is used to secrets, so you know he's totally cool. He ain't gonna pressure you none. Just gonna accept it.
I think Zephyr's acting really calm to have his snake by his feet.
Yeah, I was about to say, my character is fighting the urge to not know what the heck just happened and to punt you across the room as a little bone snake because I just fought these things. I don't feel good about that.
Just gonna pretend I don't see nothing.
Cordo's like,
I
Randy,
picture-
it's me, buddy.
I picture it's like a cat with a cucumber. Zephyr's just kind of looking around until he sees the bone snake.
Yeah,
that's a wonderful analogy, actually.
that is actually perfect.
Zephyr
Like a
screams.
cat with a
Kate-
cucumber.
Zephyr screams.
Randy
Kate is like,
draped around his shoulder.
"You okay? The fuck?"
He's
Huh?
jumpy. You gotta understand. Well, it looks like our group, and Deimos kind of gestured to Bone Snake, Cordo, Drix. We've got quite a bit of skills that might be able to assist us in this endeavor. Unless anyone has a
Well,
reason not to.
One second, my friend. Let me grab Sly. He
No. I was
Well,
talking to them. You get out of here. I close the door on you.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
Oh,
you're
no.
Misunderstood.
Is Kate still in here?
You could go get him if you wanted.
Kate, get your ass back in here. Why did you leave? I gave you that impression.
So,
you need to get.
all right. So one of you,
I'll talk to him.
stick your head out and call for Cade, who's you know, he always is a little nervous during things like this because there are like 6 adventurers and just him and Sly. I would be nervous too if I had to do dealings with 6 fucking psychopaths. And Sly's leaning up against the wall, preening himself in a mirror. Little hand mirror he's got with him. You pull Cade back into the room.
Hey, look at that. Hey, brother, listen. I feel like me and you are birds of a feather. You gotta shoot me straight now. Was he being serious earlier? You really able to keep your mouth shut? I don't know what your deal is. If you can't talk, can't talk. I just want to know what's up.
Well, Mr. Sly pays
You don't
very
call
well.
him. You don't have to call him Mr. Sly in front of me, brother. I don't want to hear that.
You misunderstand a little bit, friend. He is everything a man like me would ever want to be. Smart, charismatic, plays several more instruments than I do, and he has wealth, influence, and power. To be honest, I don't know what else a man would want.
A better attitude.
well, for starters, I don't know if you looked at him lately, but if you want to be like him, maybe we're not birds of a feather, my man.
He says, I will say, I understand you were all born here, but in my time with Sly, there's not once that I've ever thought he has Breland's worst interest at heart. It's my understanding, genuinely, his job is just to keep this place, not safe, but causing chaos is not on the agenda for the eyes. I can't find my Cade voice.
I mean, if they're smuggling someone who has the ability to make more autognomes, it seems like a nation of autognome armies could be developed.
But you could say the same for Breland, friend. Now, make no mistake. More or less, I am definitely a man of the coin. I work for Sly primarily because he pays me well, and I learn many things from him. It's not always in my best interest, and he is right. I do not have to tell him everything that I hear. But he often makes it worth my while to do so.
And what if we were to ask you to keep something from Mr. Sly? Do you believe you would be able to do that?
If he were to reach into my head and yank it out, I don't think I could stop him, to be quite honest with you. But he's never done that to me before, and I don't have any reason to believe he would do it to me in the future.
Well, something tells me as soon as he finds out you've got something worth holding on to, he'll change his policy on that.
I have withheld things from him in the past.
Well, understood, but
I would say
I imagine they haven't been
metal-wise-
of the magnitude of what we're potentially dealing with.
That's the part where Cade, again, I keep narrating him as kind of nervous. He goes like sheep pale. You can tell he kind of starts stammering. He says, to be honest with y'all, if it's that important, I would rather not know. I enjoy working for Sly, but I enjoy staying out of whatever the fuck these espionage organizations are going on about. That's how I keep my skin on my bones.
Now, Kay, listen. I like you. I like you a lot. And I really want to trust you, brother. That's why I feel like sooner or later we're going to have a serious conversation about what we're up to, what you're up to, and what we can and can't talk about. I like you a bit better than the guy out there. That's just personally, and it could be because I feel like we're, again, cut from the same cloth, but I feel like we could really be good friends someday. And I just got to know that I can actually trust you further than I can trust that guy out there. That's it. That's all I wanted to know. We don't have to talk about it right now, but I want you to know where I stand.
Brendan, did you want to say what you were going to say? Well, I'm processing what Cade's going to say.
I'll just say metal-wise, we can have a conversation privately later as a group, just basically that anything we don't want Sly to know, I don't think we should tell Cade either.
Tend to agree.
Fair.
I would say to Randy.
we-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, little stuff, sure, but yeah, that's all.
Cade
I
gives. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say I agree with the earlier sentiment that it'll be easier to slide something past Cade than it would be Sly. So when we do have stuff we want to try to withhold on, try to go to him specifically, I feel like we have that option now that Sly has sort of opened that door. And if we go Cade to begin with, Sly can't rip it out his head, so.
Right. Like, hey, we got that barrier. Where's our money? All right, see you later.
Deuces.
No deception checks.
Or I think their point, and I think I would tend to agree, is that if you do lie, you're much more likely to pass. And then Cade is going back and telling Sly things that may not be true because he believes it.
Right.
That could make some interesting stuff happen. But to Randy, Cade, he kind of looks at you for a minute, and you can see he looks conflicted. He says, "Nah, I think y'all are pretty good folk. You're not giving me any reason to think otherwise, but you have to understand I'm not the kind of man used to having lots of friends. I can't promise that I would give up my relationship with Mr. Sly for our collective relationship, but I'm not gonna tell you that couldn't be a possibility down the line.
That's all I needed to hear. And then I tip an imaginary cowboy hat at him. Point at his. Like, I
Roll,
know.
pick odd or even, Randy.
Odd.
I can't see this. What was it? It was
It's a 3.
Cade, another like 2 or 3 second long look. Like he does this thing where like you can't tell if he's like laughing or like you can't tell if he's laughing or like stress laughing. Takes his hat off, slaps it down on your head, and walks back out of the room.
Wait, he leaves the hat?
Puts it on Drix, yeah.
Fuck yeah. on Drix or on
Or excuse
Randy?
me, on Randy.
Randy.
I gotcha.
That's what happens. Multiple.
Oh, look the same to you, don't we?
I mean, I'm not opposed to a hat, but
I like to think Cordo's like, Okay. Is there anything else y'all would like to discuss privately before you bring them back in the room?
I'm down for the mission. I'm not opposed. I would still like to go shopping before we leave. The reason I asked how long you wanted to wait is because I was hoping to get more info on this VMAC dude, and I was thinking maybe we could talk to Cyrilius, but he's too far away. Since it seems like that guy also operates off the rock, but we don't have enough time for that.
I mean,
We could teleport.
could teleport.
I guess we could.
So I haven't heard any.
I would feel like an a-hole if we didn't take the mission and I just exposed like my greatest life secret to you guys.
No.
That's fair.
That is a fair point. No, I feel like we're all in agreement that the mission is acceptable.
So what I will say is when you guys bring them back in and you tell Sly that you would be willing to accept the mission, he gives a big smile. He says, well, wonderful. I'm glad this relationship is able to continue. And it's that point he says, now I am very much open to suggestions and thoughts. And this would be the opportunity where you guys could, you don't have to role play it if we don't want to, but this is where you guys could do some planning and workshopping with him about how y'all want to go about this.
We want a private car, preferably, should we say at the very end or toward the front of the train? The rail.
Most
I
of
think
the
the
private
back.
cars are going to be in the middle. The back is cargo, the front is the engine. There are some limitations to where I can put you all, but a private car could be done. Now,
Definitely
private-
private car.
now it's
private
been my
car-
experience that private cars are normally searched first.
As in for the bounty hunter.
I know.
Yes, but if we...
Well, I on the other end of this, I would start with the private cars.
So here's my thing. A private car has a little bit more, I'm picturing like a Harry Potter, like Hogwarts Express trolley where there's like rooms that you can close doors to. Deimos can arcane lock those. Try to get them.
This would be more like
was
it
about to
wouldn't be
ask.
a compartment. You would have like a whole section of the train to yourself.
But there would be a door that we would,
Yes,
Be able
but
to, I
on the
see.
same side of that, that whole room could become disconnected from the lightning rail. I guess you would just have to do
any car in a train could be disconnected.
Yeah, that's true. Even if
And
it
I
were
feel
little
like-
rooms, that's true.
Like Sly was saying, from a bounty hunter's perspective, if you have a high-profile target, where would you go first? Definitely the place with the arcane lock on the door. What do they hide in?
Well,
So like,
if
it
we
might be
put him,
better to hide in plain sight.
my mindset, if he's gonna get on the train to start checking, he's gonna check everything. I don't think there's gonna be a place that we can truly hide. Even if we smuggle in cargo.
Did we get any kind of scrolls of like invisibility or anything like it? I think we did,
Yes.
right?
I got a lesser invisibility, but it's only
Alright.
for what, a minute?
What if, hear me out, and I don't know much about how you guys do these types of things. Is there any kind of spell you can use to make things not look like the things they are besides like not like a general illusion, but more like something a bit more robust, something that sticks?
I don't know if we have it. You have minor illusion. I know there's greater illusion, fourth.
I'm sorry. What I mean is, I feel like this guy can get just about anything we want in the form of a scroll. He's already given us a few things that are pretty cool. If you guys know something we could use, I think we should ask for it.
Part of it is based on our limitations. A greater image, which I think would be what you're kind of talking about. Let me look at what that is. Regular invisibility, to answer Echo's question, second, and it's up to an hour, but breaks when you attack or cast a spell.
So cast it twice.
Sly will mention. He says, let me make. Okay, cool. He says, I have in the past. I could make you a scroll for a spell I have used in the past that would disguise multiple number of creatures for at least, or well, I shouldn't say a day, for a longer span of time. It would hold up to.
That could transport us to like maybe a small, tiny hut of sorts.
Transport.
I believe I see what he's saying.
Tiny hut.
Yeah, rope
Whatever
trick
we
would
can-
also be acceptable.
That's
Both of those will get us out of the sight line. However, they do leave arcane traces of an entrance, and anybody on the outside would likely try to stake it out, as it were.
More than the arcane presence of spell scrolls and an arcane lock? Is
I mean-
there like a magnitude?
An arcane
Sure.
lock doesn't exactly glow, as far as I understand. I mean, this. I'll
Well,
read it,
so,
but-
well,
if
under-
you do like an arcana check, right?
I was about to say, well, I'm just thinking different than y'all. You would not be able to tell. You would not be able to see it just looking at it. Just looking.
Yeah,
at
but the level of bounty hunter we're talking about has some means to detect magical. A lot of the things we're talking about, I feel like, aren't going to be. I don't think there's an effective way to hide from somebody who's this reputable.
Honestly, though, I think Sly will speak up and he'll say, your idea for a safe cage, so to speak, is a very good one. I can procure you a scroll for your hut.
It would only last
Hell
part of the
yeah.
time, though.
Was that 8
Got
hours?
any
Well, the idea is that it is more like a panic button.
Understand?
Like if we were to see the bounty hunter or know that he's on the train headed back our way, we could trigger it, put him in there, potentially take care of the bounty hunter within 8 hours.
If the person who cast the spell leaves, I think it disappears.
Yes, but
So
that would
what-
only be one of you,
Ooh.
thankfully. And whoever is in there
Goop?
could.
Could it be Goob?
I don't, meta talk, Goob probably will not be there. You'll see.
No, I know,
That's
but
all right.
Anyway,
okay.
but
All right.
Slice is in. Whoever is in there could attack from within. It is quite a nifty spell, but if we could secure the VIP for the whole time, I would not be hiring you folk. We do expect there will be some time when you all and your abilities are the only thing protecting this VIP. If it were avoidable, we would just transport him ourselves.
Snap my fingers. You raised a real good point about magic, but do you have any high-level disguise kits? Folks in my line of business seen them before. I don't have one on me.
You want? I see. A physical. I can have that to you before the end of the day if you really wanted it.
Can't hurt.
Okay, I have Cade. Cade will bring that back to y'all before the end of the day. The scroll will take a little bit of time. I do not have time to make one unless you all are wanting to stay in town for several days. But I can have one sent to me.
It sounds like you want us gone sooner than later, so
I
Within
do
a day
have
or two
a
would be.
disguise kit already.
Oh,
Don't tell him that. We're going to get a free one.
All right. I'm not proficient, but I have one.
Sly says, within a day or two would be proper. I understand, and we could move him tomorrow night, but that might be rushing things. A day to 2 days would be the best for us. To not only procure the private car, if you still want to do that, but to prepare the VIP, to make sure we have other plans in the wing. Obviously, the eyes do not want to get involved if we cannot help it. We want this to look like Mantis is handling this.
I reckon we probably need some time to discuss a plan. We'll let you know for sure on that private car. You raised some pretty valid points. There might be some other plans or thoughts we could kick around a little bit, but I think I speak for all of us when I say we're in. We'll figure out the logistics and the details in the next day or so.
Most wise. Is there anything I can help you gentlemen with before we take our leave?
Ain't that about it?
With that, Sly heads out the door. Cade looks back and gives kind of a small smile to Randy in his hat, winks at Zephyr, and is on his way.
Oh,
Oh, he says. All right, it's break time. I'll see y'all in 10 minutes.
Hey, gracious DM, I had a question.
Mhm.
So since Drix is a bounty hunter and I basically worked in Sharn as an espionage agent, would we have some sort of advantage or like a hint on pulling this off more successfully with our knowledge of being a bounty hunter and espionage? Some advantage on checks or stuff like that?
I would say it will definitely kind of depend on the situation itself, but that is probably very likely. I'm trying to think
Cool.
of any. I'm trying to think of any tips or hints I could give you off the top of my head.
So I had I probably saw it in a movie once idea, maybe even Mission Possible, I don't know. But like, if I look like the high profile target and we see the bounty hunter, I would like go to the next stagecoach and naturally he would follow me, but then all that. And basically we can box him into a car and either take care of him
That's why I said that we should step away and talk, because I figured that's what you were driving at. So I figured instead of us all sitting together in a big group, we get in a public car and we sort of space out just a little bit and keep an eye on things. And then let you sit closer to the front, right? So that if you walk back and somebody follows you, we notice and we can sort of peel in behind him.
Exactly.
And then that's also why I asked if we could disguise the dude, because I figured if you look like him, what does he look like and where is he at? Well, he has to look
For
like
sure.
something else, so we try to use a disguise kit to make him look like somebody else.
Right. Or even if we know what he looked like, the other bounty hunter, I could, pose as like a lightning rail person who checks tickets. I'm sorry, sir. Your ticket's not good. And like, don't even let him get on the lightning rail if we were to figure that out ahead of time. Stuff like that. Like either we need to eliminate him entirely, like off of the rail, or do we want to just kill him? Do we want to be more
think-
subterfuge or annihilation?
I think it's probably a lot harder to keep him off the train than it will be to formulate a plan, make sure that when he does get on, we can sort of identify him and keep the guy safe personally.
Right, but do we want to kill him or just keep him away from the profile target? Because arguably, then why would I even need to think my appearance if he would just be in a disguise?
Well, the thought though is that if you look like him, then we use you as bait, right? So we can still identify the guy, because he's going to try to come after him either way. But if a well-equipped mercenary of sorts is looking like him and can sort of, with a plan, help us identify him and move back safely, versus leaving this poor guy out to dry and just using him as bait, I feel like it's a safer bet.
I agree, but if his disguise is good enough, then with the bounty hunter, like, he's on the lightning rail and he doesn't see the high-profile target. Does he try another lightning rail? Oh shit, I must have got on the wrong one.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, because I feel like it's not going to be that easy, personally.
Right. That's why I'm kind of like.
So I guess to see what you're saying, we either try to leave it up to chance and say, okay, let's disguise him and hope the guys see through it and we just have a smooth trip, or we be offensive and say, okay, we're going to plan on drawing this dude out,
Right.
and you're the bait. Let's see if we can get him somewhere a bit more quiet, a bit more private, like still renting out a private car that we're not actually in. See if we can get him into it, and then we just freaking brawl on the train.
Right. Just connect him from the train or some shit. From his soul. Disconnect his body from his soul.
Yeah, I think what we do is we get in the closest public cart to the first private cart. We still ask him to rent out the private car for us, and then we have that as like a fallback location for this.
I like that. We can get a nice short rest, long rest afterwards, without being bothered.
I actually kind of like to do some reconnaissance beforehand. Mostly, I like to go see my foot lifter to see if anybody else is taking any jobs or to see if this bounty hunter has made any preparation.
Oh, I forgot after.
Yeah, man, instead. I did too, honestly, until right now.
Is everybody back?
I am a key.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm just brainstorming.
No, I think y'all are doing good. I love them. That's what
I
I've
want to
told
know.
you several times. Is one of my favorite things ever is just listening to y'all try to think of shit.
And then plan ways to foil us.
No, I will. I prefer to set up opportunities for the dice to foil you.
And the dice always will, because this campaign, the dice fucking hate us, dude. Like,
It's feast or famine. It's either 20s or I legitimately rolled 4 nat 1s on my attacks last session. What are the odds of that?
What's
It's
your
astronomical, right?
Which your +5 turned it into 3 6s, so that was extra scary.
spooky.
Oh.
Satan be gone.
I want to take, so when we get started, I want to take the hat to Deimos, and I want to ask him if he notices anything magical about it. Or if it just seems like a regular old hat.
The hat that Cade gave you?
Yeah.
Let me look at you. Let's see how. I don't have any first level spots marked out. Well, we had rest one on the flight back, yeah. So we would have rested after. Okay.
After fighting the shark, yeah.
Let's do a detect magic on it.
I must say,
You
I
can
think
do
you would
it. You
have
can
that
do it as a
slot.
ritual, right?
That's true.
I can, yeah. Actually, that's an excellent point. I'll do that.
Just to beat up old cowboy hat.
Cool. I like it that way.
No. Deimos is it. That's actually. I'm really glad you said that. That is quite perceptive of you, Randy. You see, this, it makes whoever wears it appear 35% more badass and 25% more fuckable. So, I think it's an excellent item to hold on to.
Incredible. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. Give me that hat.
That
Plop
puts
it
you
right
up
on
to
my
like 12%.
I was about to say 25% more fuckable is like going on at least one item every time I create one now. Hidden stats.
Fuckability.
Oh yes, the
Expertise and fuckability.
yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes, the cowboy hat of big dick energy. Yes, I know it well.
That sounds like a
In this
fatal
moment-
item.
I put it on because it doesn't feel quite right, and then I realize what's wrong, and I take one of my fingers because they're like kind of sharp, and I stab 2 holes in the side so my antenna can poke out of the top of the hat.
Love it.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to commission Barb for some art of that
Yeah.
with your little. Ain't no AI gonna make something that specific. Your little antenna
Cowboy
sticking out of your
samurai
hat.
mantis?
Yeah, the antenna sticking out of the hat.
Oh god, I love it.
This is totally unrelated, but I have to share because I was so excited. For the first time ever, was able to generate a battle map with the AI generator I've been using. It looks a little funky, but like it will be sufficient to use as a battle map. I was like, because like I didn't think they would be able to do that. It doesn't have a grid or anything on it, but
You can add the grid.
well, we don't use them anyway now. So like,
Well, yeah, but if you wanted to do that and like resell them, you can add grid.
I don't know how I feel about selling AI art. I'm a very, very greedy person, but that's like just maybe like 0.1% too easy even for me. I might be, depends how drunk I was at the time. Or how poor I was at the time. Anyway. Okay, boys and girls, thank you all for coming back from break. I appreciate it. No one disagree on me. I don't think that's ever happened to me or Joey, but it was the first time forever.
I think Ben did a couple weeks ago, but
That
I
was
was there, okay?
You were there. He was awake
Thanks,
after. He was awake after break. I don't know for how longer after break.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've been there.
I woke up just to an empty Discord and I'm like,
Yeah, been there. All been there. Okay, so Sly and Cade have made their leave. You guys have Mantis HQ to yourself. It sounds like you guys want to do a little bit of planning, a little bit of shopping. So we're gonna say you have 2 days to get your affairs in order. Talk with anybody you wish. Pick up any items you wish. I'm gonna add your You technically got paid 5,000 gold for that interaction. Not 07, or not 07. I put 07.
Oh, gold.
Cool. Man, I wish we could watch that. We can't, because Hulu's dub. It's great.
You talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, you can't watch it unless you pay for Hulu Live.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's stupid.
Hey, wait. You can get Peacock for free. Just watch it on there, bro. You don't have to do the base subscription, I don't think. We're watching it on there right now.
We're watching SpongeBob.
Right now, during session.
No, literally right now. I'm just
Right now? Yeah, I was going to say no. SpongeBob. Going on back there. Sometimes the sound leaks through my headphone while we're playing, and I'm like,
So I'm gonna go shop. I do have a question though about this whole bone hilt thing. I want to know if I could do that, how it works, if I gotta take it to, and what I'm gonna learn about it.
the bone hilt. So really, all the bone hilt is, so it would just be a piece of this carcass that has the runes etched on it. The runes are not. There's already established. There's no magic left. Sorry, it's too long to wear this. It's my frame. Chief Smoky, you got it. So since it's not magical, I would say that the you want to know where to take this. Okay, hold on. Let me process what Demos can tell you and what you have to go find out. So Demos could probably tell you that since it already is inscribed with runes, like it has already been infected with magic, it shouldn't be difficult to put magic onto it. Since there is no current magic in it, it's not like you have anything to remove or anything to bypass. But you want to take to someone who can attach this, can turn the hilt of your katana into a piece of bone. Is that what I'm understanding?
Pretty much, yeah.
You want a spell put on it. You want an effect put on it. So in the way I would think about this, if that's what you were looking for guidance on, is you could, the price, the time it takes will vary. But more than likely, what I would think is you could put a spell on it, and it would act like a wand, or like the things you have charges, you could put a charge on it. Maybe you just want it to cast invisibility once per day for one charge. That'd be pretty cheap. If you wanted to put 5 charges on it and have it do multiple spells, that's going to be fairly expensive and take a lot of time. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I think that kind of does, and I hadn't thought about like what kind of effects I wanted as much as I just thought it would be cool to turn to my katana into a bone of something I cracked in half.
If you just wanted a cosmetic thing, that would obviously be the cheapest.
I mean, because the thing is, I think I'll start with that no matter what, right? And then knowing that I could add a magical effect because it has runes on it, ponder upon that and say, for now, I think I just want to turn the hilt of my katana into this sick bone. If I come back later and I want to have some magic imbued on it, knowing that that's possible, I could just pay somebody more to do it, maybe.
I'm looking here. I could effectively put a cantrip on there, could I?
And,
Could I have to get leveled still?
I think
What would be?
and to me, I did have an idea. I was talking around, and that's why I asked about the runes specifically, because I thought if the runes are a barrier, it might be cool if I could have a rune on my katana that essentially gave me access to the shield spell
Reaction shield.
for a certain number of charges or whatever, because that's what the thing's doing. Like, that's what the snake was doing, so it just
That's
makes
fair.
a
It's
personal bubble around me.
abjuration. Yeah, abjuration magic being what the carvings are based off of. I feel like that would be. I mean, well, also maybe easier to enchant, maybe cheaper to enchant. So how you want to deal
What
with that?
level is what shield?
Shield is first level.
Okay.
I will confirm that.
Where's my? I thought I had seen
It is
here,
a first level.
Yep.
but I'm pretty sure first level spells make things uncommon items and not rare items, which would make it, from y'all's perspective, cheaper.
Okay.
From y'all's current perspective.
Also, I
maybe
guess-
not from
I
like
guess
a
the time-wise.
70 perspective.
Because I don't want to lose my katana for like days doing this either.
It would take.
Oh, you would have to lose if it days. Well, I could enchant it for you and just pass it to me off a little bit at the end of each day. And as long as I have a first level spell slot, which is not uncommon for me to have left over, then we might be able to get you there.
So I will say let's go ahead and start with this because it sounds like you won't. So I'm actually gonna say that you can do this yourself, because you do have a little workshop in Mantis HQ. I don't have that. It's okay. Come on, mouse. There's a little workshop here. I'm gonna point it out to you. Ding, 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 ding. Boop, boop. Little workshop area. A little area with I mentioned training dummies and stuff last session. Gotta wash the saliva out of my mouth.
Looking at it, for 100, a level 1 spell would be a common magical item.
Okay.
For 100 gold, we could get that put on there.
But it was
I'm
like
trying
as written, it was like 25 gold a day, so that's 4 days.
Get you. So in 4 days, I could have that effect up. I don't know how many charges you'd get out of it, but I think shield is a good place to aim that.
I think if you want multiple, 'cause I don't think there are raw rules for this. If you want multiple charges, I'm going to say that like if you cast it at a second level spell, you would get 2 charges. If you cast it at a third level spell, you would get 3 charges.
And so conversely, instead of having to use the spell slots for that, if I wanted, like, let's say, it would be like, I mean, if it would be like a charge a day, then that's not the worst. If we wanted to pay somebody to do it, I assume it would still take a bit of time for like 2 charges per se, and it would cost money, obviously.
So I'm kind of so. Let me make sure I understand this correctly. If I do a level 1 spell as is, it's 100 gold. It would take 4 days. And I cast them all as level 1. If I do it as a level 2 spell, it's still a common natural item for 100 gold, and I just cast at level 2 each day, and he would get 2 uses out of it. Level 3 slots are in short supply for me at the moment, so I'd be a little remiss to try to do that. In fact, given the current rule system, I don't think I could do. Well, I guess with the Pearl of Power, 4 consecutive days of it.
And
But
I wouldn't want to do. I think I would probably only want to do it the most 2 charges because I don't want to overextend you. And we do have 2 days of downtime before the 2-day trip, so it just. I mean, we'd probably just have to wait till afterwards, which is fine. I just wanted to know like what the stakes were and how to do it. So that's fine. I mean, if we get a couple in our downtime here, and then we finish the mission, get a couple in afterwards, I don't care. That's fine with me. Because I think we'll get a long rest at some point, right? If we have 2 days of downtime, the first day of our trip, we'll get a long rest, right?
Yes. The end of first night? Or the end of first day, yeah.
this might be. I wouldn't even mind being. So if we take the tonight's our rest, we won't get another rest till the day after the train arrives. I would be using.
No, we don't get. So we don't get a long rest tonight. It's the 2 days of downtime. The first night after we're on the train, we get a long rest, right?
You do get a rest tonight. Or
Okay.
you get a rest tomorrow night. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to say this again because I can't remember shit. You can double check me on this by going to the calendar channel in Discord, and I have them all listed out for the next month. So the next one is the 2nd of Ron, which is tomorrow night.
Okay.
Okay. So we would get rest for. I would say I'll go ahead and spend the next 2 days. I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna spend 4 hours in my ink to copy over Arcane Lock into my book, and I'm gonna use 50 gold of the gem dust to go ahead and get him two of the 4 that he needs to cast that at 2nd level. At the end of that 2nd night, I'll get all my spell slots back, and then for each day on the train, I'll try to save a 2nd level slot. Which in between, I have Arcane Recovery, so I can use a little bit of that.
Okay. We'll go back to that after the train thing, because I'm sure I can spend some spell slots during that. Like going on, so we'll.
No, probably.
And that's why I wanted to clarify when we got our rest, because I don't want you expending spell slots unnecessarily while we're on train. Like, period. I want to make sure you have us fresh, ready to rock.
No, understood. So here's the thing. I can do this right at the end of the first day on the train. I can do it right before bed. I go to bed. I get a certain number of slots back. I can replenish that slot. So I'm not overly worried about it, but I do appreciate your conservative nature.
Cool. All right. I jam a bone on there.
Sounds it.
Randy, so what we're gonna say is that you guys take a short rest. You know, hit the short rest button, roll your hit die or whatever. If you need to do that, you rest on the 1st of Raw. Friendly reminder to Demos that some shit has went down at Moorgrave.
Yes.
But so the 2nd of Ron. I'm sorry. Let me back up. You guys get up on the 2nd of Ron. As you guys are all coming out of your rooms, kind of get ready for your day, have a breakfast circle, whatever you know. I imagine at some point you all kind of gather in one spot to go about your day or to see what everyone else is doing for that day. You do find Goo waiting for you all. Armor on, bags packed. Looking as not deflated as a plasmoid could look, because that's probably pretty deflated. But he looks a little less springy than maybe you've seen him before. He's sitting at one of the tables and he has a letter in his hand. He tells you all, he says, as much as I have greatly come to enjoy all of your company and appreciated what you've all done for me, I need to go. He shows you guys the letter and explains to you all that it is a letter from the largest trade commission on his home planet. He says it is not uncommon for them to reach out to adventurers as they begin to blossom into their careers for favors and missions. He says that he cannot afford to pass up this opportunity, that oftentimes working for this organization leads to direct membership into this trade commission, and that passing up this opportunity would be extremely remiss for him. So he does bid you all sad goodbye, and that morning leaves out to go catch. He tells you he's going to go teleport to the rock and catch a Syndiath ship back to his planet.
Before you go, and I take a vial out and just scoop a little bit of the goob and like cork it, in case I need to find you later. Just like tuck that into my robe. Don't ask, just do.
Just scoop some goob.
Just scooping some goob.
With no salt at all.
God.
Goob seems understanding, and After maybe some lengthy goodbyes, makes his way to the Mercane front in Sharn.
After he leaves, Deimos like leans over to Zephyr like, you know, he's the only reason you even lost just the leg. You know, it could have been a lot worse, friend. I hope you know.
Yeah, it could have been worse. He could have gooped me entirely.
Oh,
I feel like the other 5 of us would line up like a hand and give him the goob salute bye. Like this is Steven.
like yeah,
With,
the 5 of us are
one the
standing there,
3 team- Yeah,
and
yeah,
like 4 of
yeah.
us kneel. But just
Exactly.
How'd you do that?
You're, yeah.
Do
Was
that
that it?
again. How'd you do that?
he goobed.
What? Hold his fingers
There's,
down slowly.
There's
What, you've never
emojis,
goobed before,
man.
Devin?
You just gotta goob it, man.
I
Goob
didn't
it
know
up.
I didn't know you could do it in the. That's funny. Didn't know you could do that. Oh god, I can't wait for the day we're streaming and these fucking emojis are just bouncing all over the fucking stream. All right. Sounds good. That was Goob's last words to y'all.
Oh, beautiful. It's exactly how I hoped.
Very eloquent.
Back at you, buddy.
Single tear down my.
We miss you, Goob. Come back when you can. So, Goob bids you all farewell. On that morning, I thought I had something else to narrate. Oh yes, okay. There will be like one other thing that happens over this 2 days you guys have to prepare. But is there anything you guys would like to do during these 2 days you have to? It sounds like y'all have been planning, but anything else? Randy, you affix. I'll go ahead and narrate the thing I've been told. It takes you the first day, the 2nd of Ron. It takes you 5-6 hours to essentially tear apart the hilt of your katana and to take it apart, not break it apart, but take it apart correctly, and kind of learn how that works, and then refit the handle to be a bone from the bone naga. And I like that you even have a little tooth sticking out of the end of the hilt, so it's got a little spike on the end of it. And your cross guard is probably, you know, a mixture of bone and steel. Like, definitely looks much more buggo.
What's like a not parasitic? What's the word? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like something that natives would have put together, right? Like private kill and slap this thing back together. It's now part of my weapon.
Sure, that's very organic. Was anything else? What would you like to do over these next 2 days as you guys prepare this mission?
I'd meet with Lifter, obviously.
Okay, Brandon, what'd you say?
I was just gonna remind you. Drake's wanted to go do that. I would maybe go to my contact Chance, see if there's any info on Vimag or I don't know, security of lightning rails. Go to my organization.
Okay, I got you.
Direct contact.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Drix spoke up first, so let's do that. Drix, you go find Lifter in one of the lower districts of Sharm, where he likes to hang out. I don't know if everyone was here. Lifter is like a Grey Warforged, who used to work. He had like a physical labor job. I don't remember exactly what it was. Then now works as a bounty hunter.
He was
like
akin to a
train, right?
forklift.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm picturing Bender. I hope you know. Grey Warforged just.
That's totally not what I based him on at all, Joey. Not at all.
But which is a shame, considering my mama was a forklift. My daddy was a forklift. I finished Futurama for like the 14th time or something. So I've lost count. So that's my best guess. Yes.
Sorry, I was just gonna say during this second day, Deimos will go ahead and prep another spell. He's gonna buy a scroll of detect thoughts. How much would?
Hold on
that
just a
run me?
second. We're still on the first day. This is still the 2nd of Ron. You
I
guys
see.
will have the 3rd of Ron to prep, and then
Could I not do it today as well?
you could, but let me
Okay.
finish what we were doing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You go find Lifter in one of the lower regions of Sharn, and he greets you warmly. Says, "Well, Drix, it's nice to see you. I've heard you have made a little bit of a name for yourself. Congratulations!" And you actually gave him
Thanks, Lifter.
a sum of money last time. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was a pretty penny.
It's 20 gold, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty penny from most D&D people's perspective. He says, "Is there something I can help you with?"
God, I can't remember the fucking bounty hunter's name.
Vimag. Let me put
But-
that where y'all can see it.
There you go.
Put his name where y'all can see it. Some of
First,
you
I'm gonna inquire.
Vimag.
First, I'm gonna inquire about his methods, particularly like anything we should be able to prepare him for. Because we seem to be going after similar quarry. And then beyond that, I would ask if he heard of anyone else who took a job to take a hostage off of a
Ooh, very good. He says, I don't know if I can do a Bender voice. Well, you've paid up pretty good, so I reckon I can do you a little bit of a solid. Vimac is vicious, well prepared, aggressive, and rather cunning. He has a reputation for getting the job done by any means at his disposal. He's very dangerous and has done this a long time. He kind of, you can see him look a little bit conflicted, as much as you can tell from a Warforged anyway. He says, others that have taken jobs, not that I am aware. Most those that have heard Vimac has taken this job will have steered clear of it.
Of course. Corey Stillingham.
He is a fucking asshole. If you get a chance to pop him in the nuts, please do so for me.
Got it.
I like Lifter.
But no, Drix, in
his
all seriousness.
Shiny metallic posterior.
Say it again.
His shiny metallic posterior.
Mm-hmm. He can bite my shiny metal ass. And he tells you, he says, in all seriousness, he's not to trifle with. He's well equipped. Usually has goons with him.
Ooh.
I would be hesitant. Maybe he doesn't say hesitant. He tells you to be careful.
Heard. Well, hopefully, he won't be too much of a problem.
I've heard you're running with some impressive folk. That is always good for bounty hunters.
Oh yeah, gotta make a name for myself somehow.
You're not doing bad. And he kind of leans in and gives you a little bit of elbow. And he says, heard that two... what's the word I'm looking for? Two mighty Thrakreen warriors took some good loot off of a merchant ship a few months back.
Do I ever hear this? I'm wearing my cowboy hat now. I lean back in my chair, I assume kind of near the bar, but not right there, and I just sort of wave like an idiot from a distance.
Yeah, that may or may not have been us.
Well, if you're doing good for yourselves, you're doing good for yourselves. Just don't forget to kick a little extra to old Lifter.
Oh, of course not. And of course I throw him another 20 gold.
Ooh, okay.
Keep Lifter happy.
Mm-hmm. He looks...
Go spend it on some grain alcohol.
Yeah, looks ecstatic. Yeah, alcohol fuels my power cells. He looks very happy. And he, upon getting the 20 gold, he says, you have any other questions, friend? That's, you're one of my best customers.
Say that's about it for right now, Lifter, but we'll be in touch soon.
If I can, if I find anything out about other bounty hunters take his contract, I'll send you a messenger through your house. I still cannot remember the name. Brandon said it the last time. He promises to send you a message through the house that does that kind of thing.
Cool. Gives Lifter kind of the forearm grab handshake before they head out.
Armstrong and Sid.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Demas, you had a question. You wanted to know you were going to buy something?
Yes, sir. Yeah, first I want to buy a spell of Detect Thoughts. It's a 2nd level spell. In your chat, you said that would be between 400 and 600?
Probably. 2nd level spell? Between 4 6. Is that a common or uncommon item?
Scroll. It's a 2nd level. I'm going off the prices you gave me in that chat a few weeks back. But,
okay.
It's a 2nd level, which I guess makes it
I said between 4 and 600?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to break down in my head. So, it is uncommon. Detect Thoughts. I'm going to put that at... I'm going to put that right at 500. I try to base things on like how they compare to other second level spells. So like mobility spells worth a lot. Things that can do a lot of things worth a lot. Things that can only do, things that don't fit as many situations not worth as much. But
I got you.
detect thoughts I think would be right around 500. Like, you know, to be able to take a thought out of someone's head is fairly valuable.
And so I'll spend 500 on that. I'll spend the 4 hours to go ahead and do it that same day. I don't want to necessarily jump too far ahead, but tomorrow, I know that not tomorrow, but the day after is when we're going on the train. Could we have the scroll for Leon's tiny hut tomorrow?
Yes, at the end of before you guys go to bed on the first river run, Cade returns with your scroll of. No, he returns with the disguise. The next day, the end of the second, Cade returns with your scroll of tiny hut.
So I'm gonna go and copy tiny hut and detect thoughts into my book.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the ink that we've established, and I'm also using the ink money for the 500 for the detect thoughts. So I have 150 gold left of ink money.
I feel like we're
And I'll drop ink money. I will go ahead and those in my book. The thing that I think I need to prep if you boys have anything else.
I got all the information I need.
And Echo say you want to go do
You
something.
want to go talk to Chance?
It was essentially find out the same info, anything on VMAC or.
Well, I think it's a good idea that you both go and speak with your respective contacts. So when you go
I
back
wanted to go
the
shopping,
Weeping Willow,
but can I
we can
can
go
I ask him?
shopping.
Well, I can ask him if I can accompany him.
Echo.
Yeah. I mean, worst case, if there's something private, I can step aside, but I would love to. Badass Randy.
All right, cool enough. I don't know how I feel about that nickname. I'm not as cool as you think I am, but I try pretty hard. Let's roll.
Well, wearing that hat.
Hey, you're 20%
I know you're
more
about
badass,
25,
I was about to say,
25% more
Yeah, Randy got an ASI for his cool stat when he got the hat. Okay, I need to find like one thing. Here we go. Echo, you go and speak with Chance for the first time in a little bit. You've been out in Wildspace. Pardon. Gotta burp this coffee up. He is, of course, very happy to see you. He reaches out and shakes your hand. You guys claps hands and greet each other. And he says, well, it's been a minute. I hope you've been doing good making coin. Is there something specific I can help you with? Get you a drink? Get you anything else?
A drink for me and my friend Randy would be good.
Absolutely. He sees the mithril katana. He sees the +1 bow. He pours you guys something from the top shelf.
Profile
blush.
much? Profile much?
It's in my best interest to cater to what my clientele's perceived taste.
I'm trying to think. So since I'm going away for often many days at a time, the organization might wonder where I've been. So I'm trying to think of like an excuse to be not doing my real job.
So well, you could. Well, this is a little meta-wise. You could tell them that we acquired a spaceship and are doing a good bit of work around the wild space, and I keep wanting to say the star system, but that's a little beyond where we're at.
I mean, it's kind of sorry. This gob's going off, so I don't mute. I would say Echo would know that House Thorani does not particularly mind. Like, they don't care that you have your own organization now, so to speak, because from their perspective, that just gives you the ability to funnel them information that you're learning while being part of your own organization. So I feel like Echo would know that as long as you're going back to Chance and, you know, feeding him little bits of stuff you learned, that's going to satisfy them.
And Chance is a changeling too, right?
He is. But everyone knows he is.
No, I got you.
Only Chan you guys now know that I am. Yeah, I guess I was wondering. Jeez, how should I ask this? Trying to give us an advantage for the fight. Taking down Vimac easier, or knowing through House Orion or whatever the people running the lightning rail, some blueprints of a train. So that way we can be better prepared, kind of thing.
You did say you would ask about that. So Chance can pretty easily tell you that lightning rails, you're correct, are by House Orion. They work the same way as airships. So you have to have a House Orion lightning mark, a House Orion dragon mark, to be able to run the lightning rail. To be able to pilot the lightning rail, maybe I should say. He says that for the most part, the House Orion representatives would be the ones taking tickets and doing that kind of thing, but the dragon marked ones are the only ones that can actually power the lightning rail and make it move.
All right. I don't have anything else.
He kind of low down, but they're generally, for as far as travel goes, they're the fastest form of overland travel he's really aware of. He tells you that there are some enforcers. He between you and me, that impressive, but they serve to keep rabble and bullies and things from attempting stupid shit on the carts. He
Not
can't.
off the carts. Is it possible for someone to jump on the train outside of a station? You know, the Wild West horses running alongside.
I would say with y'all's experience being in the field that it is, he tells you that while it may not happen every day, isn't uncommon. He knows the House Ferrani has been part of ops that have involved jumping on a moving lightning rail. He tells you that is very much a possibility. That people could enter after the journey gets started.
Right, guys?
Do you want to ask him anything about Jimag? Maybe if he knows, because it seems like this dude deals in information. If he knows anything about his physical characteristics or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say even you could probably ask him since he knows you're with me. So yeah, we heard that. Tim's pretty tough. You know anything about him?
He's a bounty hunter, right? Vimac. I've heard he's dangerous. I've heard he's vicious. I've heard he gets the job done. It's my understanding that he serves coin before anything else. It could be possible that he would accept payment, whatever he's being paid, he might accept from another party to stop. But I've heard he's very dangerous, good at what he does.
Dangerous? How so? What is his weapon or skills set that makes him so deadly?
So he carries an axe, arts. He carries a ball and chain, a morning star, and then I have heard tell that even if you were to disarm him, he could kill you just as quickly with his hands.
Any magical?
Mad from time to time?
Say that again, Brandon.
Does he get really mad from time to time?
Not to my understanding. He seems very calculated.
Any magical abilities or outstanding skills?
Think about that. How you said that. I don't know about magic. He's very impressive physically. Very fast. Very quick.
He's not a vampire or anything, huh?
Not that we're aware. He has been reported being out in broad daylight.
He could be Daywalker.
So he doesn't rage.
He could be
Cunning, what is
Goldbrand
that,
in
intelligence
disguise.
or wisdom?
Joey and Brandon
I'm not-
may or may not remember Vimac from the original
The
Eberron.
name sounds really familiar. It's bugging me. I'm trying to.
Dude, I do it. And I'm like, have we talked about it this campaign?
I looked through my notes and I couldn't find it. I'm like, I
Wait,
know I've
You
heard
said
that.
he's Goliath?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember he was the monk, I think, who helped us out?
Help this out.
It wasn't Mordray, where it was Mordray. He was, like, studying to try to find something. Okay. Yeah, now I
Listen,
remember.
I didn't want to metagame or anything, but when he said he could kill you with his bare hands, I was like, is this guy a monk or something?
I was thinking Goliath until you asked the rage questions. First, I thought you were fishing for like a Hulk reference, and then like, oh, Brandon be using that there noodle.
This is a much different Vimac than you would remember, but
Right. Yeah, I was about to say he didn't have any weapons.
That's it. This one seems like he's been hardened by the 30s on as we've been going.
that was very good.
Yeah.
Brent. Honestly, you are correct. I remember some things about Vimac, but I think in the introductory scene, the first time you met him, he was fighting two ogres in an alleyway, which always sticks out to me because y'all. I think at the time y'all were like, "Oh God," because I was having lots of fun talking about him breaking ogre legs and shit.
Didn't he, like, throw Arma around, like, the airships and, like, one of us twirled around it and fought or something? He threw him around so that way Arma would be like this boomerang attack type thing.
Who knows, dude? Wish we could have had some of the old stuff recorded, but yeah, this is just good. Higher quality D&D you're watching. I feel like now. But is there anything else about that? The Eberron game was great.
Yeah, this one too. Sort of Eberron. I can't think of anything else. Or, I guess you said Tracy's got a couple of goons.
Yes, Liv told you that he will sometimes hire up. And I guess Chance will when Chance says this, he tells you that he's fond of hiring which you guys Aurelius told you all that there is, for lack of a better term, a mercenary company called Vulcan's Legion that's based on the Rock. Marcus told you guys he would rather go back down and fight those metal people than fight Vulcan's Legion. And so Chance will inform you that he's fond of hiring Vulcan's Legion.
Strong
What
words,
do
Mark.
Would we know anything about them? Vulcan's Legion makes me think that they're warforged. Is that correct?
No. That's just the name for the mercenary company. The big takeaway from Marcus was that they're very well equipped. So this is like the NFL of mercenary companies. They're all going to be carrying adamantine, mithril, very nice armor, etc., etc.
Sounds like we probably won't be able to pay him off. At least at a profit. We would probably lose money.
Sounds like that might be our best bet if it comes down to it. I'm just saying.
Would be able to do that mid-fight when we realize we don't have any people for us.
I think that maybe we try to ID him first and determine how things are gonna shake out. I don't know.
We'll have.
We can do it then.
I am also admittedly a little apprehensive. The person searching for the man who knows how to create autonomes, and we will have within our company the first autonome. I feel like we have multiple targets that this person may go after. He's aware there that they are
Well, is
on board.
I gonna recognize the one?
That's a good question.
But
Ooh,
anyone is disguised, but it is possible.
like that an interesting interaction. I'm curious.
Oh, you mean is
I
the
don't
guy
think-
with guarding gonna recognize A1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a high-profile gnome crafter.
Why possibly?
Should we let him know it's one, or should we hide that from him?
I think you guys may be at liberty to decide after you speak with him, but I'm very glad thinking about those things ahead of time.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like straight up. Yeah, after we talked to him, he's gonna bad news. Maybe being like, you recognize this little fella?
Damos also, sort of as an aside to Echo, I understand you have the ability to make it more for our enemies to work their way out certain spells and such. I do have abilities that can lock people down. And meta-wise, I'm just going to sort of relay to him that if we want to make his movement speed 0 or try to paralyze him, that if you make him, if you do Wisdom or Constitution for your hex, I can try to do some of that shit. If you want damage, we can try to lower his dex. But basically, just talking tactics and trying to work out the best to lock this guy down from. It sounds like he is a martial character. Even if he does throw darts, I feel like if we can lock him down, he'll be a much less of a threat.
So lock him down. You said wisdom. Done.
Wisdom, I can use whole person and try to paralyze him. Constitution, I can rise by and ice him and make his movement speed 0. For a monk, his Constitution's probably pretty high, but his Wisdom might also be quite high.
I'm also saying that we were told what race he is, which I assume also has a higher constitutional gain.
Goliath, yes, they do.
Right. Then strength. Probably.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know stats.
I have some
Well,
spells that can
I've
restrain
met-
him.
I've met Goliath in my travel. Maybe I'll do that.
Most of your rare Goliaths are very large.
Big.
Strong.
Zephyr might be the one that's like, the fuck is a Goliath?
Imagine a troll, but a bit more handsome.
I don't feel like I really recognize the troll either.
You've seen the mirror, good.
Oh,
Unless you grew up on the dark side of the rock.
Actually, if I said I've seen
bro.
Goliath, I wouldn't be able to one, but I would show her privately, not in the middle of the bar. But even if we were in the bar, hey, Chance, what's a Goliath look like?
he could.
He would.
He wouldn't be quite as tall, but he could shift into, muscular figure, tall, hairless, muscular figure of a Goliath. Not quite as old as what I imagine. But Goldberg's old enough. He may not make it to this capstone many sessions it'll play.
You shut the fuck up,
Orban's-
goddamn now, Devin.
As long as
Yeah,
Goliath
yeah,
is there, we touch as many kids.
Yeah, he's gonna be right now. We'll see.
He's gonna be blind, isn't he?
No.
Yeah, he'd be blind.
Oh yeah,
we'll
can you just be an old guy?
talk about it.
I feel like he was going blind. I was like, seriously, I was like, please don't be blind, old Brand. You can't be old. And
We can talk about this in 28 minutes. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm running back really fast. Let me go ahead and I know y'all are planning. I don't want to disrupt that, but there is something that happens over the next 2 days. At some point, while you're all together, where you can all hear, A1 does speak up. Again, Jericho's voice. You gather that he is always doing the other thing that Echo is not doing. So he's either making stuff like a normal gnome, or he's deciding his voice. And he says, Mr. Sarah has requested I speak to you all. She says there has been developments, and she would like to speak to you all at your leisure. And he frowns. Depending on you, he may frown if he's not looking like a, I don't know, but an illusion frown. Skipping past all that, he says, I cannot reach out to her myself, but I would be happy to learn to do so.
Could teach you a trick or two about that. Oh, I don't know sending. I know message, but that's 120 feet.
Do you want to say anything? Or can you learn sitting?
I mean,
5, surely.
Do you think you could deconstruct it from the stone?
Disenchant, re-enchant style.
I'm just saying.
Is that a level spell you would know at this point? It
Sending
is.
is a first level spell, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's
Either that first or
3 or
second.
4.
No, I think it's that high.
I thought it was 5th, but it's not already. At least 3, maybe. But you have access to 3rd level spell slots, right?
Yes.
Okay. You could take a little bit of time. Show me. Here's a 3rd level spell. That's evasion. That's stupid. Okay, I'll say that during the second day, you can take a little bit of time to teach A1 the sending spell.
Do I learn it because I'm teaching?
Oh, you don't know?
It's the best way to learn, okay?
I was about to say, what if we go to Mr. Zero and be like, hey, if you'd like him to communicate to you better, you provide us with scroll, we can make that happen.
You can. I'll go back and talk to them to Vera if you would like. If you'd like to do that during that day. I was going to just make you guys go over there.
I probably should.
Hop in, but as far as him learning that'd be good for both of us to learn it.
I don't hear any opposed. That's more great. That's not where I want to be.
Before we do that, and it's the whole reason that I act the company Echo, ask people to have a drink real quick before we leave our tavern, a side or whatever. And I look at him, I'm like, it's my bravery, you bare your soul, telling us stuff that nobody else knew. I'm gonna show you something nobody else seen. I need you to keep between us, right? And I pull my pants down.
Oh my God. I don't see that. Lady.
Oh, dramatic pause. And on my leg is a very, like, strange looking, almost like a brand of a tattoo just wrapping around the entirety of my thigh. You can tell it's a drag mark, but it doesn't look like you've ever seen before.
Would I be able to make out the house or the symbol? What does it look like?
Um,
I mean, I have been Sharn for a while.
You
It
can
looks
make-
like the house sigil.
You can make a history check if you like.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
You
The
can tell me.
DC won't be terribly high for a reason.
70.
70. It is the way it is so discombobulated. Reminds you a lot of the marks you saw on Thor Arcanine.
Aberrant.
Anyway, I'm like, I just figured since you shared something kind of important to you, I felt it important to know that you can trust me. So I wanted to share something important to me.
Well, I appreciate that. Where'd you get that? You were born with it? I Dragmark born with it? It's a brand.
I'll tell you this, I have no clue where it came from. My family didn't have any, nobody I knew had any. I was sort of appeared one day, and it didn't look like any kind of regular. I've seen other people with drag marks. Mine has like this weird sort of burnt scarring around the outside, but it doesn't look like traditional sort of. It wasn't tattoo. It's a little bit scarred up, a little bit burnt. I think it's pretty cool, but I was told a long time ago when I first came here, you father keep that covered up, so I do.
Well, kind of looks like the one Thor had. She's Tarkin, so I mean, it kind of goes along with your abilities. Skill assassin, thief,
I'd raise you funny for no reason, eh?
right?
Did you see Ray take his pants off over that? That's a little bar. That seems a little excessive.
You can make sure.
Damn.
I won't pull anybody.
Zephyr
Yeah,
and
I don't
Zephyr and Edwin just up here swinging the dicks around on the fucking stand on the table, swinging the dicks around.
Bring around.
I'll turn on top of the table.
And one's just like a ratchet, so as it goes around, it like makes a little noise.
Imagine it's illusory or whatever. But
Oh god.
I'm gonna stop. Okay. Sorry. I'm okay.
Yes,
No jokes about
you know-
10-inch fucking auto. Okay.
Because of the what was it, the lady Tarkin who like killed a bunch of people with disease. Maybe that's why people don't like. You know that? Old around, I think, old Sharn.
I would be interested
Lady Tarkin
in with a Tarkin, or you think like Lady Vol?
Yeah, let me see. House.
This just sounds like lore I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I love the root you're talking about. I don't know what about today. Eberron is like. I love Eberron. If we make him back to Eberron after Noe takes his turn at this for some reason, I like it a lot.
I like Eberron. Yeah.
We just jumped back and forth from everyone to Forgotten Realms.
I mean, I'll just casually explain. Like, I've never had anybody had any problem. Nobody's ever really seen it or just heard that people with a dragon mark line aren't really accepted. There were a lot of issues in the past, and I don't know if they're laid to rest or not, but I'll tell you as much. I'm not taking any risk. I'm new here, and I just don't want too much trouble. I take jobs that I feel like are important to me, important to my house, important to what I care about. At the end of the day, I want somebody to come after this thing, so I generally keep it to myself.
That is exactly my sentiment with my ability. And if you want to know another secret, I'm not remember like my house, Dragon Mark was like one forearm, but I did kind of keep it up. Just kind of like slide it down a little bit just for me, and like the Dragon Mark disappears for a second, I put it right back. But it's illusion. So,
Nice.
I don't know.
Well, it sounds like we're doing all
You
the
show
same.
yours.
Contracts.
Hell yeah.
I'm very pleased with how those reviews turned out.
Pretty brothers.
Indeed, I'm very pleased with that. That was very cool. Didn't know you guys really learned both of those things this session. I really like how they turned out. Party bonding is cool. I like it. Okay, now I will reiterate that just between those two. So, rest of you, mind your tongues.
The rest of us just saw them stripping and taking parts of their clothes off. You know?
Yeah, I know. It was a little weird for a second, but you're slightly distracted by Zephyr or A when trying to helicopter. We won't make Zephyr volunteer for all the weird sexual acts. It's not fair to him. You guys.
I'm here for.
I don't know. Randy got the cool hat at the bonus points. He doesn't clearly tell you to drop his hands. I'm not sure if any words there, but
Magic
we'll try.
Randy?
Let's try it. Okay.
I'm sure there's a market for Magic Randy for stripper therapy. Okay. We took the rails and just put it into pretzels. You guys. No, they're rails for this session. It's great. This is all timey-wimey bullshit. 50 bullshit. You guys, I don't know anything else you'd like to do over these kind of next 2 days. I guess you guys want to talk here. Speak now for Ultra Peace. You guys do on the second of Ron. Go back to, I can't say that wrong because I hate it. You guys go back to the warehouse where Vera is, and you actually find Vera and Bree. Sorry, you guys find Vera and Bree kind of huddled over the desk in the front of the warehouse, consulting about some things. As you guys come in, Vera immediately kind of like this, and is very happy to see you all, but rushes A1 immediately. Obviously, still covered up in his gnome illusion. She reaches straight through it and starts like, feeling space feelings on her. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so good you're safe. I can't believe you kind of not anybody in particular. She's like, I can't believe it took you out to wild space within a week of becoming your guardian." And checks him over, make sure he's okay. They do have kind of a short conversation where they're catching up as Bree approaches and says, "Well, it's good to see you all. It has been some time." I figured we might see a little more of you after you had all that prying in my office. I even like that she's walking by Zephyr, like hit Zephyr a little bit on the way by. It doesn't say stand next to you or anything.
Wait, crying in your office?
Yeah, when you all quizzed her so hard, it was several sessions ago.
Well, we wasn't her in the foyer. We snuck into her office.
No, you particularly, you and Zephyr went back into
Oh,
her
I,
office.
okay. I thought she was referencing break-in. I was like, this bitch should know that. We got her to track. I got you. Well, we do like making ourselves mid uptown, as you were saying. Have lots of business with many important figures, and let's see that we have some shared interest in house candidates and their specialties.
Have you seen the doc for the exhibition?
I have not yet. No, I was hoping to check it out soon, but we've got a little pressing business. We'll come back in the next couple of days to see it.
She actually gets a little bit flushed. She says, it's really exciting, actually. And unlike anything else we've ever seen, I'm going to check it out when we get back. It's fun.
All campus has been buzzing about for the last 3 months, but we'll make sure we cop side some time for it.
She looks most satisfied. She says, and I imagine close to this time that Vera stands up from they went in. You can see she has this almost, I want to call it wild eyes, sort of. She kind of like looks around all of you. She's like, oh, fucking see. Yogi? What's the other? Bona? I can see the Bona goes. Say, well, I can see it.
I think A1G1 just like RTD style, like that whole projector and like start showing her all the fuck shit, like
You get the idea that you have seen personally a lot of the did. He has her, and they picked up the context clues, and she says, I'm a little amazed that you guys have managed not to break him. I very much appreciate that.
Black Dry.
That's probably the best way of being on. I appreciate you not putting him in the line of danger. She walks back around behind her, is shuffling some papers, and she says, I guess I want to bring you all here because we had to break him at this warehouse.
This way.
She gives you guys a description of a gnome in chain, she's a gnome in armor, carrying a mace and a shield, and oddly enough, dressed like a cleric of the Silver Flame. She says, Oz was able to attack him early, and it seemed to have run him off quickly, but we thought the location rather secure. In fact, he was able to turn where he was upset. We've not had any other incidents since. I've had, you guys probably noticed on your way in, that there are now more than just Oz patrolling the perimeter, there are more warforged. She says,
I need to move.
you could be correct, but it's difficult to move at this point in the process. We have sold the last 2 crews that you all saw to House Lander, and are very nearly ready to, within the next, imagine week or two, ready to completely manufacture these for Lander and Orient. Meaning that within a week or two will be ready to start like every 2 weeks they can come back crew and sell them to House Lander or House Orient.
We also now know that theoretically, well, factually, for some reason the Silver Flame is very interested in whatever they're doing.
With the Silver
I don't know
Flame
about-
fascinated.
We think that because the primary suspect in the other case was a member of the Silver Flame who ended up dead. So this could be a red herring, or it could be that they're for some reason very upset about this.
Vera will use minor illusion to produce an image of this person, so you all know what they look like.
Now you said you were selling some of these crews to House Orient. Can they run Orion's signals? The ones that can pilot, for example, Spelljammer, can they pilot the lightning rail?
She says, no, that is very specific to the Dragon Market and have that family. But House Orient, being a travel-based organization, does have quite a large share of, how should I say this? I don't say the character. So if you pretty much just Lander and Orient, they kind of own the largest share of the market, for lack of a better term, for Spelljammers.
So they're using them exclusively for Spelljammers and not for other devices. Okay. Part was like, if I don't know can pilot this fucking lightning rail, and worst comes to worst, we can get the fucking captain to the conductors want to take the fuck off with fucking A1 at the wheel. But sounds like a train jack for us.
So I'll just ask her, like, was you confident that they're from the Silver Flame? Is there like a specific crest he was carrying? I mean, it's really illusion, but I'm just curious.
You would see on the illusion that both the armor and the shield have the crest of the silver flame on it. They all very much look like you expect a cleric. Armor, shield, mace, holy symbol, etc., etc.
Do you have any reason to think that they would specifically target you? They asked, is we investigated last again. One of their primary suspects also affiliated with them. It seems kind of weird to me. Clerics don't typically make crimes, is what I'm saying. I mean, that seems kind of just a little odd.
She but her and Bree have the real idea of if the Church of the Silver Flame has any ambitions pertaining to the Autonomes, they are not aware. They've not been contacted by the church or by the church or anything like that. She tells you that she does think it's odd that a cleric of the Silver Flame would be breaking into a warehouse. She says that's extremely unusual, but she's not nuts individual. You were given directions in the past, which does tell you where the temple of the Silver Flame is in Sharn, where where it's at, what's your etc. And that you could go ask around there if you wanted to know more about this individual. Obviously, you were given a name Oswald, and she can't remember if this is Oswald or not.
Oswald is potentially the name of the gnome?
That's who you were told turned it. The main suspect.
Oswald.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was getting confused with the dude's name. Is he not also Oz?
Oz.
Yeah, that's Oz. He's for overseer. Yes.
I
Oz.
already said.
I get those mixed up. Thank you for asking the question.
My name convention's not the best.
Actually, I think Oz is a cleric. That's funny. I like it.
That's very cool. Yeah, I don't stretch, but I think that things are going to get this big part of those people who remember that versus this. It was something English, right?
Bree would take you aside, but she would mention once you've wrapped up a conversation with Vera. So you have more questions for Vera.
What? Like, I'm going to ask real quick. What do you know about Silver Flame? Like, what are like, they're released, but that's right, they're pretty normal for this part.
Yeah, it is one of the, I don't want to say only, it is a monotheistic religion. So in Eberron, you have the Sovereign Six, the largest religion. Of course, there are 6 gods that have that. You have Dark Six, I think is what it's called. That's kind of evil aligned equivalent. And then probably, I don't know overall if it's the biggest or the second biggest, but the Church of the Silver Flame is a monotheistic religion. That it's either the first or the second biggest religion in the world of Eberron. So, and the Silver Flame is a real thing. Anyone who has been to Eberron has heard that the Silver Flame resides in one of the countries. I didn't show you on the map because it's not relevant. The country of Thrane, Thrane. That is like the capital city. It has a cathedral where the actual Silver Flame is. So it is a very large religion. I would equate it probably to Christianity. It is like Christianity, Buddhism, or it is a worldwide religion.
Cool. Before we split off, I'm going to put my hand on David's shoulder and say, I think Frank had an idea about how we might be able to get in touch with you a little more efficiently. Let's talk about it.
Well, Eberron has quite the natural proclivity to spellcasting. He was wanting means to communicate with you, which I think is rather brilliant. If you would provide us with some, let's say, a scroll perhaps to send, I might be able to educate the boy.
So she's like, he learns spells, and there's like maybe half a second pause, or like she realizes that's a stupid shit question, and all wants to be click for her. And before you can answer, she's like, oh yes, no, that sounds right. Don't take some time. A third level spell, takes a minute, 10 minutes. She says, can you live here for a little while? I'll come back, or I can teach you. Do you need the scroll specifically?
I want this also, matter-wise. I want to and teach day one.
Well,
I was also going to say, we're planning on leaving tomorrow, and see if we were going to bring along for the ride. Would you think you'd be able to teach him the thing overnight?
I think I could teach him before you leave. The spell scroll will take time. As I'm sure you're aware, it makes the ink in the process.
Oh, no, I just know that that's a common means of communication. You might have one eye around shop or something.
Not what I do itself.
Another question for you. I understand that after the head of the house, but having no somewhere, Styles, thank you, is the one who greets, I don't know, completes the process, and you, of course, get them started more or less. Everybody else that's familiar with the nature of creative these.
I'm going to answer your question, but first, does anyone need to stop? Right. Perfect. She tells you that. She says, I'm pretty high up on Styles' hierarchy, but he has employed various geniuses, I don't know what you want to call them. He does employ various artificers of Elysium to help him with his work, or to help him with particular specific parts he may be stuck on. Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
And if there's anyone else who has sort of basically what regarding it has information how they're created. He claims to, yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's anybody else high up in the hierarchy that might be a potential, basically trying to suss out who this person is.
She tells you that Files has taken on proteges.
From outside the house again, or
not usually. She says no. Decanists are the ones taking quarters. Dials just decans. She got not flaunts, but yeah. Gesture trademark says without one of these, you'd be extremely hard pressed to break or I don't know.
Wait, did you do that again?
We're taking a good look, yeah, one more time. It's a couple of areolas, actually just slightly lighter shape, I think, is the reverse. Yeah, that's right.
This one's from Josephine since that comes out as well.
Yeah.
This is
I made this happen. This is my fault. Not
Yeah, you did that. Supposed to.
Alright, well, brains.
Just anybody know by name? Particularly someone who things that go too well and tries to suss a few things, maybe potential suspects in this case.
She tells you that she's aware of. Everyone she has talked to is having agreement with her that they would follow Files merely to the end of the earth, because most of them believe he is probably the most skilled artificer, at least on the continent. You have the way she talks about him that she believes he is. So I'm going to make more references. Here we go. Like Julie and Barrett, she thinks that he is quite possibly the smartest person ever lived, and that's probably the primary reason that she worked under him.
Yeah. So,
did you make a comment like that, Bree gives you a
Dame was more gentleman than Joe is. A high bar.
Take my jab away.
So none of his disciples are in Disgruntled. You don't think they ever take anything they learned and use elsewhere, being in another country for their house? I don't know.
As far as I'm aware, Files is the only one that knows how to complete the process. He's not sure that anybody that I'm aware of.
So you have a closer assistant himself, someone you would say would mention hierarchy there, and I can't know the specifics, but somebody who feel might be a little closer to Files himself.
Is closer? Closer skill? Closer? I don't think so. He should see well. Yeah, he answers vast majority of questions I have asked. But it could be possible he has a better relationship with his brother. But I look at that relationship with brother. Merrick's Decaniv. M-E-R-R-I-X. Merrick's Decaniv. Those of you that don't know, in Raw Eberron, he is like the Decaniv of Sharn. He runs Canif South. There's a weird.
You said the relationship was strained?
So that again?
I was saying there were some things that people never were told they could be Files himself. They're trying to be not even one fairly.
If his brother is the head, and he's sort of the secondary, even if Files is perhaps the more remarkable skill, he may be looking for us.
Let's go ahead and two of you make a history check.
I've got decent history. I got +6.
I don't know what my history is.
Yeah, now we get into Raw Eberron lore. Hey, Raw Eberron lore.
Oh, wait a second. You got a long rest. Did you roll?
Is this after our second day?
I thought you said you got a long rest at the beginning of the first day.
You'll get to 9 if this is second. You'll get 9, and then you leave on the third.
Can we get 2 history rolls?
Yeah, somebody else rolled.
Yeah, one person can roll.
4.
Should have a
I've had my life, but
Yeah, my flight 0.
Could they give me advantage? +6,
I was
so
about to say, like,
the highest
for a while.
I got a book name for it. I throw it at 10. Like, try again.
You all can be most basic roll if you wish, or one you roll.
Oh!
Yeah, you know, done.
You know, because, and I would imagine this may not be common knowledge, but you kind of put some dots together. You know that House Canif, most of the houses are run by a single person. But after when the morning happened, the main headquarters for House Canif was destroyed. So now, in the current world state, there are 3 kind of factions in House Canif, the East, West, and South, that are kind of vying for control of the overall house. It left a power vacuum when the morning happened, and the overall leader of House Canif was killed in the morning. So
Merrick was the leader of Southern, yeah.
yeah, so the Southern House, which is based in Sharn, he is the. And I would say with the 19, you're vaguely aware that he seems kind of the front runner for taking over, taking back over and conglomerating House Canif.
They also say, I understand that the Canif is a bit of fractured whole organization. What's the fractured butthole? It's
The fractured
South Park.
butthole.
Fractured butthole. For where are the other 2 locations? The 2 eastern and the western branch? Are there none yet? Or what's the city we're going to? Star.
So you're going to technically, like, it's like around the border between Greenland and Drain. Like, I don't think that map has the country borders laid out, so I'm not entirely
They're
certain.
it's a little hard to see, but
I'll look at that map.
the city of Star, what you call it?
Starlister, whatever it was.
Starlister.
It's really hard to say.
That's not what you got to do with the quarters phase, is it?
Yeah, it is definitely. So, it's a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm reaching back to stuff I learned in the first Eberron campaign. I'm pretty sure that it's Sharn, Parnath, another country, and went east. So just, I have to make on that. I have to send that in chat later this week.
I think it was really just trying to see this person going to another faction, another segment of it. Now, I know this is the end of the journey because they said they were going to drop them off and pass them along to Appalachian of the Eyes. So they very well could be continuing further westwards, either east.
It looks like Zarliskir is in Greenland territory.
I see. Interesting. I don't believe I have any additional questions for Mr. 03.
Same.
Deimos will like tuck that one magic missile a little deeper in his like cloak.
Bree tells you all before you leave. You return at your convenience. She says within the next couple of days. Put a date on the calendar. She will have an opportunity for work for you all. Bree said that. She'll tell you we spoke about my great work. Progress is coming along, but I might need some help preparing final ingredients. With that, you all get on your way. You leave the warehouse. Last call for anything you'd like to do in the 2 days you kind of have to prepare for this mission. Take that day. I'm ready. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. So nothing to do. 1 second. I will shit. They should still be here. Fuck. Do you remember the name of the store, Randy?
It sounds like me.
It's got to be one of these names. So if I said the perfect expanse takeaway, does that sound familiar?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you say it first. That's it.
But that's familiar.
That's what I thought was familiar. You return to the antique shop. So this is technically not an adventure district. So you weren't. D-Musfake was the one that was not here. You guys actually go back to like a trades district. So less magic item shop, less inventory gear, more fancy furniture, fancy clothes, jewelry, things of that nature. This was like an antique shop, almost like I don't want to say thrift store. It would be more like a very high-end pawn shop, sort of. So something particular. You could have given the shopkeep, possibly a different shopkeep. Same shopkeep. Looks very pleased to see you. Since you had done business previously.
I walk in, I'll look at him, I'll say, hi, Parker, you're going to be selling me a very specific sort of I know it's in a little while, but yeah, it means a lot to me. It's a pretty cool item. And then I'm once again going to pull out my little notebook, and I'm going to say, do you have anything else that interests me here? I'm looking for some very neat, very specific items, nothing that are mass manufactured or anything like that.
Yeah, I wonder if you back in you are presented with some kind of similar items that, you know, they might have been part of recent history, may not worth a whole lot now because that history was 20 or 30 years ago, but as they're kind of laying these items out and showing them to you, they leans in and says, to be honest with you, I've been asking around, particularly for people of your ilk, and I have some thoughts. And they point to some of the kind of gesture cross items. Says, now I could make a little money selling all this, but if you got 50 gold in your pocket, I've got some information I think would be worth a while.
I read the money, not Ralph. And I'm not going to borrow everything past 50 gold. I'm going to say, what you have to tell me?
So they take out a star chart, and they unroll the star chart. They actually unroll and push it towards you. They tell you, this is yours. Thank you for your purchase. They point out a section of the star chart, and it's a little odd because it doesn't, the pointing section of a planet or anywhere you guys really aware does seem to kind of be, it's hard to tell, you know, it looks like empty wild space on the map, but there could be asteroids there, there could be, excuse me, I'm going to try that now, actually, I want to. They point to a section that is actually on the ring of Ceres. Those of you that remember, anytime you look inside Eberron, there's a massive ring that cuts through the sky, which is the ring of Ceres. You are aware by now that that ring stretches out to the storm of Ceres, which no one's ever been able to get past. But the star chart points you to a specific island that kind of floats on the ring of Ceres, so y'all can't think of it as kind of like Saturn's rings. You could fly through it in Spelljammer. It is made of plasma gaseous matter, but it has islands and asteroids and stuff speckled throughout it. And best you can tell, based on you, that this map points towards a specific island on the ring. They tell you that it is, they have been informed, as best their understanding, that a particularly unique find is to be found there, but it is untamed and dangerous. They believe that someone like you, or especially a conglomerate of people like you, would have a lot better time obtaining whatever's there. And she, I guess she actually saying that. She tells you that she believes it to be something very similar to what you have been, which purchased last time.
I'll look over and say, yeah, mighty obliged. I really appreciate that Eberron last time. I hang up my wall back in my room. I keep it safe. We'll make sure the history is protected. I appreciate this as well.
She nods, and she really impresses upon you like she genuinely believes there's something worthwhile there. She kind of offered you she explains that she did her best context. She did a fair amount of research. That she really kind of checked all of her odds and ends to make sure that there really was something there worth obtaining. And she doesn't know exactly what it is, but she's heard rumor of very unique ways being stored away on some of the isles on the ring.
I'll whatever. I'm gonna slide her next 5 gold. I'm gonna say, I genuinely appreciate the information. If you come across anything like this again, I start chart, I don't care what it is, you kind of let me know, right?
She gives you a deep nod, takes the gold, and seems very pleased with the action. And of course, you are allowed to start chart. You purchased it. Just for my own sake, and I start for you. Start chart. Anything else you guys would like to do on the second Eberron? Oh, well, sorry. I'm gonna go like this and top it. Do you have anything good? Heard him?
No.
Okay, but that is where I'm going to call this, and